Here we are.
Now we're going.
Now we're going. Welcome back to another Experts of None podcast. I'm Joe Pesky.
I'm Skylar Traxinger.
For a moment, I was concerned you had forgotten who you were. And
Yeah.
we did a little trial before this one, and I think we've got our audio thing whipped.
Until we do 3 hours.
That's exactly it. We're gonna do 3 hours of this, and we're gonna play it back, and it's gonna sound like shit, like the second one. And I'm gonna lose all faith in our ability to do anything properly.
Yeah.
Don't mind me. I am adjusting my microphone a little bit just to let you see my fantastic forehead. It's evolving into a 5-head. I think at some point I'm gonna have like this Friar Tuck thing going on. And it'll just be bald all the way back, and I'll have this on the side. I'll just have to grow this out.
I enjoy the haircut you got, though.
Thank you.
Really, really did. For a haircut that you got from your mother-in-law.
It was a free haircut.
From searching Google Images.
And that's what it was. I went on Google. I literally Googled men's haircuts and looked through all the photos, and there were some that I just don't have the face shape to take. I wouldn't be able to carry them well. But you'll see it's a little fuzzy on here, but it's supposed to have a part off to one side. I've actually got some product to help me keep my shape. My hair's really, it's really coarse, but it's really curly.
Yeah.
So once it dries, it loses its shape.
Something that's always pissed me off. Your hair never looks as good as the day it was cut.
Oh, no.
Like, after you leave the salon and go home and do every technique they tell you, it looks like
you try to maintain that? No. And I can't spend $50 every day to go back and make it look awesome.
No, we are not that famous yet.
No. But if we continue to do this, we get some more podcasts out, I will start a Patreon page.
Patreon
page.
Go fund us.
Yes, so if you like what we do here, enjoy us kind of having our banter back and forth, and we can...
Did we freeze?
You did. Oh God, we've moved from the realm of
that's okay.
Audio issues to video issues. I wonder why.
Really, if I didn't say anything, I wonder how long it would took somebody to realize
that somebody's me.
Because my mouth is covered. Maybe I'm just...
Well, I mean, you're holding that pose really well.
Mannequin challenge.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you continue to entertain our good folk, and
I gladly will. You know.
Troubleshoot here.
So, Joe, what do you think about the National Basketball Association?
National Basketball Association. I don't have enough information to make an informed opinion about the National Basketball Association.
But you know a little.
A little.
Do you know who's in the finals?
I do not.
Okay, Golden
I know
State.
very little.
Yeah, me too. I honestly haven't been following it either, but Golden State and Cleveland Cavaliers for the third year in a row. They actually made these trilogy shirts, like Lord of the Rings based.
That's just kind of funny.
And each team has one. So it's like the rubber match. But the big news, you know who LeBron James is.
I do. I might not know much, but I do know who LeBron James is.
Yeah, but he's, straight out of high school, he's pretty much the only guy that has been compared to Jordan since Jordan retired.
I was reading something here. It might have been just today.
Yeah.
Didn't he? Maybe that's not it. Didn't he break a record?
Yep. All-time points leader in playoff history.
Okay.
He has scored more points in the playoffs than Michael Jordan did.
Wow.
Who was number one.
That's kind of amazing.
Followed by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, I think. Yeah, it's crazy.
That is actually very amazing.
Another fun fact.
Yes.
The last 7. I'm gonna say 7. Last 7 NBA Finals has featured LeBron James.
Really?
He has gone to 7 straight now. He hasn't won them all. I actually think he's like 3-3.
Haha.
Oh, I'm unfroze.
You're unfroze. That was successful.
But pretty remarkable.
It is remarkable.
I don't know.
Huh.
I have this weird thing.
Now, see, a lot of my NBA knowledge is dated back to about 1997
Okay.
when
The Bulls and the Jazz.
when the Bulls were real big.
Yeah.
Mostly because my uncle was a big MJ fan.
Oh yeah. Everybody was.
And that's just it. Everybody was, and he followed the Bulls everywhere, and he had the memorabilia and the jacket and the shoes, and so that's kind of where my NBA knowledge is stuck.
Yeah.
Um,
It was a great
because
time.
I never followed it myself, so I just got what he had going on,
Yeah.
and so yeah.
It's one of them weird things with like these superstar athletes is, you know, my grandma never watched a basketball game in her life, but she knew who Michael Jordan was.
Right.
Or never watched golf in her life and knew who Tiger Woods was.
Right.
Isn't it crazy how you can dominate a sport so much that somebody that doesn't even watch sports knows?
Already has that association.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
You have to be from the moon if you don't know who Michael Jordan is.
Yeah. No, and that's just it. You hear Michael Jordan, you think basketball.
Yep.
You hear Tiger Woods, you think golf.
Yep.
You hear Arnold Palmer, you think delicious beverage.
Great beverage.
It is a great beverage.
Rest
the
in
way.
peace to the king.
Yes. You hear Larry Bird, you think white guy who is awesome.
Indiana State. No, yeah, they're more. I don't know, because it's hard to compare because people try to compare these great players nowadays to the Michael Jordans, the Dr. J's, the Larry Birds. I don't think it's fair though. Like, I'm a big baseball fan, and baseball goes back to 1880.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can't tell me that Whitey Ford in 1940, who's considered one of the greatest pitchers of all time, was facing the same talent that pitchers nowadays are facing.
Right.
He was facing the local bread man that played for the Yankees in the afternoon and then went back to loading bread in the morning. And
Well, see, and that's just it. Is you have people now that this is their career, but it's not only their career; it's been their life.
mm-hmm.
That from a young age they're brought up for this, and they train for this. I mean, it's on the level of Olympic sports,
Yeah.
where you have these young people that are talented and are developed in one particular area so well that they blow just standard competition out of the water.
Yeah.
And it raises the bar for all of the players.
Yep. That was one of the most interesting things to me was, before we became friends again with Cuba,
Mm-hmm.
we were literally extraditing players out of Cuba for sport. Like, if you're an American, you can't even fly into Cuba.
No.
Like, I'm not a great, I don't know, is that foreign policy? Yeah, pretty much. But I don't know what the deal was, but all I knew is, like,
It was policy.
pretty hard to get into Cuba, and it's pretty hard if you're from Cuba to get in America. Yet, if you were a really good baseball player, you found your way into America.
You were still here.
And you're getting paid millions of dollars.
There was enough money backing you that, I mean,
Yeah.
and that's kind of how the world works. Is if you have enough money, you can kind of do whatever you want.
That's true.
It's
Crazy.
It
You have
is.
a little wooden bat and a mitt, and you're good at it, so you get
Yeah. You get a first class ticket to come be a
yeah
AAA baseball player.
a superstar.
superstar, and that's what it is. It's superstardom.
Yeah.
It rockets you up front page, center stage. Everybody's eyes are on you.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I've seen pictures of Cuba, and before trade opened back up again,
Yeah.
it was 1950s America.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's what it had been for the last 50 years.
Yep.
And to think that there were people that were just scooped up and brought into, modern American world, I think is pretty incredible.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. It's interesting. The Boston Red Sox, my favorite team, literally been scouting this kid in Cuba since he was like 12. His name's Yoan Makata. And he turns 18, which I guess is the age where you can work on getting him over to America. I might get this wrong. I believe before the age of 18, they tendered him an offer of like $60 million.
Wow.
To be like, when you turn 18, you're signing and you're coming to America to play for the Red Sox. A 16-year-old kid.
Amazing.
You have that much faith in this kid that you're going to break foreign policy.
You're going to find a way
Yeah.
to get him.
It's just
Wow.
fascinates me.
Could you imagine being 16 and somebody coming to you and saying, I'm going to offer you a contract worth this amount of money?
Yeah. No.
What do you do with your life? I mean, holy cow.
Yeah. And
It's
then
incredible.
And then there's always a story of the kid that is supposed to be the great that either gets injured or doesn't pan out.
No.
How do you rebound from that?
Well, see, that's just it. Is many don't.
No.
Is you come and you play the sports and you're the best of the best, and you're 24 years old.
Yeah.
And you blow out a knee.
Yep.
And you're done forever.
Yeah.
Because you're never gonna hit that peak again.
Well, I don't know. You ever heard of Ryan Leaf? All right. You know Peyton Manning.
I don't. Peyton Manning.
All right. The year Peyton Manning got drafted, I believe it was either 98 or 99. There were two quarterbacks coming into the draft out of college. Peyton Manning, who went to Tennessee, and Ryan Leaf, who played for, I want to say like Washington State, or that's probably wrong. But
Okay.
anyways, they were pretty much neck and neck according to scouts. Like, man, I don't know. Basically, one guy's going to go the first pick, second guy's going next pick.
Okay.
Indianapolis had the first pick, and they ended up picking Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
And then San Diego Chargers had the second pick, and they picked up this Ryan Leaf. And just how you justify that, these two guys that are neck and neck coming out of college, one turns out to be one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. The other guy lasts a year in the league and the biggest bust in NFL history.
Wow.
The biggest bust. I think he won like maybe 4 games in a year and a half. And now I think he's in prison.
How do you?
But how do you rebound from,
Yeah.
I'm going to be like Peyton, or, we're going to be the two greatest quarterbacks ever, and
that
one
you
is, and
have
one...
such skill
Yeah.
that you're neck and neck with Peyton Manning, and for it to turn so south.
Yeah. It's a cruel industry. Because, yeah, I know you have belief in yourself that, I am pretty good. But when you have millions of people being like, oh, these two guys are the guy. This is what we're expecting from these two.
That's an amount of pressure that
unbelievable.
People don't get prepared to handle.
No. And they're 18, 19.
I mean, you're being pressured not only by your close friends and your family, but by the nation.
Yep.
That you need to perform.
Yeah, by grown men that get paid, make careers out of just analyzing you.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. No, they've crunched the numbers and they've
Whether you're good or you fuck up, they're getting paid. They're either gonna praise you or they're gonna bury
they're
you.
gonna absolutely tear you down to nothing.
And it's kind of weird, you know. We have this society where we have 56. I mean, it's the same with politics. It's the same with anything that has to do with the media. But we have this society where these grown men, you know, they could just absolutely bury a person if they.
Oh yeah. No, and it's a lot of it comes to perception. You know, if you're being brought around as this incredible player, and you turn out not to be, you're never heard of again.
Mm-hmm.
Or alternatively, you could be this underdog player,
Yeah.
and you end up having everybody have this resurgence of support. You
Yeah.
know, and it's perception. How are people seeing you?
Yep.
And I mean that has a lot to do with how you perform. I actually perform.
Yep.
Because if you know that half the people in the stands absolutely have no faith in you at all,
Yeah.
you're gonna be shit. Or I mean, you're gonna have the pressure to be shit
Yeah.
because I mean you're gonna feel that, and it does affect your performance. A lot of it's a mental game.
Yeah. It's the Tom Brady story. Do you
Okay.
know the Tom Brady story?
Tell me the Tom Brady.
You know
story.
who Tom Brady
I know who
is.
Tom Brady is.
All right, Tom Brady was he was a mediocre quarterback. I think he played high school football in California, and had really no offers going to play college ball.
Yep.
And late into signing, like after his senior year, Michigan gave him an offer, and Tom Brady went to Michigan University.
Right.
Benched his freshman year. He started his sophomore, junior year. Going into his senior year, his junior year, they actually won a bowl game. Not national champions or anything, because college, like 80 teams make bowl games.
Yeah.
But then coming into his senior year, the state of Michigan had a high school quarterback by the name of Drew Henson, who was the number one quarterback in the nation, and Michigan signed him.
Okay.
So he was a freshman, and Tom Brady was a senior.
Yeah.
The pressure that the state of Michigan put on the university to play this Henson kid, because he was going to be the greatest of all time.
Yep.
They split time between him and Brady. Like, Brady would play the first quarter, Henson would play the second.
Okay.
Brady would play the third. And they were a winning football team. And they ended up going to just missing the national championship and ended up winning a bowl game. But anyways, Brady goes into the NFL draft, finishes his senior year, kind of like, what the fuck? Like, I played 2.5 years, and this kid comes out of
Just
nowhere
comes
and takes half my playing time, this and that. Shows up at the draft. He's got a build like me. He's got man boobs, and everybody's just downing this Tom Brady kid. And he doesn't even he was selected by New England in the 6th round. There's 7 rounds in the draft.
Yeah.
The 6th
yeah.
round.
No, he wasn't first round pick.
He was the 199th pick overall. There were 8 quarterbacks taken before him.
Wow.
And, New England just kind of, this kid, he won a couple bowl games at Michigan, but split time with this freshman. And, he goes to New England his rookie year, doesn't play at all, rides the bench, learns the system. Second year, week 2, boom, starting quarterback's out. Tom Brady, you're in. This 6th round pick from fucking nowhere that nobody gives a chance
Didn't play the first year.
turns into the fucking greatest quarterback ever. I don't even think it's disputable anymore. He's won 5 Super Bowls,
That's true. That's true.
more than any quarterback alive. Yet we pay these analysts so much money, and they can flub a mistake like Ryan Leaf saying he's going to be the greatest, and flub a mistake like saying Tom Brady is going to be the worst piece of shit you're ever going to have on
anything
your team.
at all.
But yet we let them get away with it.
Wow.
oh, Brady proved us wrong. Let's praise him now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I knew that
everybody get
Brady
behind
kid
him.
was. Yeah.
And I might get some people mad at this. It could be that you could equate some of those analysts to meteorologists.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Guesswork.
because we pay them both, and they both guess,
Yep.
and we continue to pay them,
Yep.
and we all listen to them.
Yeah.
And when they're wrong, we're pissed off. But when they're right, it's like, holy shit, this guy's a wizard.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep.
I think that's the two different sides of the same coin kind of deal on that one. But
It's a weird predicament, like especially like our jobs. Like, we just work hard and make money, and if you're not working hard, you don't have a job.
no,
But there's these other professions where you make money and you can just kind of guess. And
I mean, you take a stab
Yeah.
at it. You crunch the numbers and you look at the charts and you look at the historical data and you review it and you make an educated guess,
yeah,
but it's still a guess. And I mean, there's not 100% certainty
mm-hmm.
as to what's happening.
And that's something, especially in sports, that you never see is, especially now, we're 3 months out from the NFL season, so everybody's got their predictions and
Yep.
all this shit.
Yep.
It'd be cool if, like, once the season started, they went back to analyst projections. Like, oh, this guy doesn't,
What's
they
he doing
don't.
here?
They don't.
Well, and I think some of that's entertainment value as well.
Yeah,
You-
that's all rating boosted.
you get discussion, and I mean, I remember, I've never followed sports very well. I played them in school. I never followed
The
them.
state champion football player.
Woo!
He won a state championship.
I'll have to bring my ring on from Vermilion. Iroquois Chiefs,
I played a little ball. Here's my ring.
2006 state champions.
Heck yeah.
It was a great time. I loved it. It was a blast. We had a great team. It was a whirlwind. I mean, it completely threw us off.
Well, even that, South Dakota is a popularity-wise, we're a small state.
Right.
But you play these high school football games, 8 games, and the 3 playoff games, and then boom, they throw you in a freaking dome with cameras and.
Oh, it was surreal.
What do you mean I can't wear cleats? It's
Right.
AstroTurf.
Yeah,
I
no,
gotta wear
it's
tennies.
I mean, we walk out into this dome in Vermilion. I'd never seen it before. No idea what's going on. Everything feels different. The whole setup is different. And, I mean, you're expected to just, okay,
Yep.
just do what you've been doing for the last several weeks.
That's got to be a lot of pressure.
Oh, it was. I gotta say though, it was definitely one of the most exciting things of my youth. Not only because I was on a state champion team, but because of the community that we had.
Yeah.
The town of Iroquois was empty. You'd have been hard pressed to find a soul anywhere in Iroquois during that game. Iroquois, Cavour, DeSmet, the entire area was gone. They were all in Vermilion. And you look out in the stands and everybody's wearing orange and black.
Yep.
And you knew you had people, you had friends and family, and it made you feel like a star.
It's got to be a weird for like them 60 minutes. You guys were just gods.
Oh, and that's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, we were the focus.
It's a weird. Yeah.
It is.
You see it. It's like, man, that kid's fucking my daughter and fucking with her head and messing her up in a relationship, but he just scored a touchdown.
And everybody claps. And I mean, it didn't matter what you had done or your social status or anything.
Yep.
You were part of that team. And the game was great. I mean, we completely mopped the floor with Cologne.
That's
I
gonna be
mean,
a great
and
feeling.
and in that game, there's no 45 rule.
Yep.
And they scored against us 2 or 3 times, but I mean, we came out of the game with like 56 points. Because everybody got time. And when I say everybody, we had a center that had been out for weeks. He had gotten injured. I think it was his knee, and he played in that game.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it was 9B, okay, and we put him back at center, and we had everybody stacked next to this guy, and the only job of the linemen were to get in front of him and not let him get touched. And he got to play in the championship game.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, he hobbled out there and played, and it was excellent.
Mm-hmm.
It was excellent. And we had our quarterback in one of the plays and watched it happen. It was crazy. Jammed his finger. I don't know if it was into a helmet or a pad or what it was. Jammed his finger, and the bone popped up and went over the other one.
Oof.
And he comes over to the sidelines, and we had chiropractor who worked on the whole team that was there. Okay, pop it back out, wrap it up, out he went. And it was just really, really cool. And we all got new football cleats. They were turf approved, donated to us by the guy that owns the bank.
Oh wow.
The whole team got a pair. Food and snacks and well wishes and letters, and it was
The whole county showed up.
it
for the
really
game.
was.
Yep.
It was so cool. And then we won, and we all got rings.
Yep.
And funny enough, when I was courting my my wife, she was my girlfriend at the time, I mailed her my dome ring
Oh yeah.
on a gold chain. It was the most cliche high school thing you could ever think to do.
Oh, so you've been talking. It's been that long.
Yeah.
You were in high school when you and Katie were talking.
No. I mailed that to her. I graduated 2007, and we met in 2008
Oh shit.
online. So it was shortly after we met that I sent her that.
Okay.
Little segue story. I did have a comment from one of our listeners.
Ooh. Let me guess. Joe Henderson,
No, actually,
Oh!
no.
our fan.
Right, our one fan didn't suggest this.
By the
one.
way, too, I took my battery out of the smoke detector just for Joe.
I haven't heard it beep. I heard him say that. You gotta take that damn beep, beep.
And I've never noticed it.
We sat here for 3 hours. I didn't hear it once.
No.
And then you listen to the playback, and I know it's there. No, actually, my wife has sat and watched these, and she said, something you should bring up is how long did you date before you got married?
Okay.
And it's kind of funny that this ties into that.
Yeah.
Because I graduated high school in 2007.
Yep.
And I met my wife online on eHarmony.
This could be.
I know, right?
You're one of the statistics.
I am. I'm a statistic. We met. It would have been the week after Christmas, but before New Year's.
Okay.
That kind of weird week where you don't feel like you should have to do anything.
Your first semester of college.
It would have been right after I got back from my first semester of college.
Yep.
And so we met online, and we started talking. And then I turned 19 in January of 2008. And then I went out to Cincinnati in March. I spent a week out there. We went to the aquarium. it blew me away.
Yeah.
It blew me. I drove out there. I dropped off my stepbrother and his family in Minneapolis. I drove through Chicago down to Cincinnati.
Oh, Chicago's.
I hate driving through Chicago. It was like 8 lanes, one direction. You're either all going 70 miles an hour or you're all going 4.
I was just saying, like, even 2008, either you had a Garmin or you had no GPS.
Yep, and that's just it. I bought a GPS just for this drive because I didn't know where in the hell I was going. I mean, I had left South Dakota and went to Rochester. Ooh, it's Highway 14. And that was it. That was the extent of my travels. So it was definitely a ride. So I drop off my family in Minneapolis. They get on the plane going down to Georgia. They're going to be down there about a week. All right. So I drive from Minneapolis to Cincinnati. Spend a week out there with Katie. Have a blast. Go to the park. Go to the aquarium. Mm-hmm. I had a hotel room right there in Harrison, which is a little suburb of Cincinnati.
Okay.
And because of where Cincinnati's located in Ohio, I'd wake up in Ohio and we'd have lunch in Kentucky, and then we'd have supper in Indiana, and I'd go back to bed in Ohio.
I was going to say, because, Cincinnati and Louisville are actually, like 50, 60 miles?
Yeah, it's not
close.
far. And Cincinnati sits right in the southwest corner of Ohio.
Yeah.
So you've got this whole thing. And to me, Huron born and raised South Dakota guy, Katie's driving me through all these places, and she's like, this is this town, and this is this town, and this is this town. And to me, I never thought we left town.
Yeah.
It's just like, this is just one giant ass town. And she's like, shit, no, this is countryside.
Mm-hmm.
Countryside. I show you countryside.
Yep.
So I spent a week out there, 2008. Come home. We continue to talk. She flies out in July.
Okay.
She flies out in July, spends a week in Huron, sees my house, meets my parents. We drive out to Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
We stop in Wall. We're tourists.
Yep.
I'd never been a tourist in my own state. I'd been through Wall 100 million times. I'd buy some taffy and move on my way.
Yeah.
And so we stopped in Wall and we took our pictures and we went out and we saw Crazy Horse and we did the whole tour of the Black Hills thing.
Yep.
Drove through Sturgis when the rally's not there.
Yeah,
and it's a ghost town.
It's the size of Mobridge.
Yeah, it's silly the difference. And then we go to Mount Rushmore, and we're walking the path, and we walk up by the carvings, and we come down, and there's this little rest area, and they've got some teepees set up there and some benches, and we stop there to rest, and I proposed to her.
Ooh. So what's the timeline there? You talk. Oh wait.
Met late December.
Yep.
January, February, March. I go out to see her.
Yep.
March, April, May, June, July. We get engaged. 8 months.
Quick. That's
quick.
That's pretty quick.
That's pretty quick.
And really, like, I guess, you guys chatted a lot, but really literally spent, 2.5 weeks physically together.
Like physical time where we could see each other was 2 weeks.
Man.
2 weeks. And we spoke every day. Sometimes it was I got home from work late. How was your day? Good. Talk to you later. Good night.
And that's the key right there, man.
But it was every single day.
Yeah.
Every single day. So she flies back. We talk about it. We set a date. March 2010. We're going to get married. Okay?
And you proposed July 2009. Okay.
Clock comes around. I drive to Cincinnati in March of 2010. I drove out there. I think it was, we got married on a Thursday. I remember we got married on a Thursday because it was cheaper to rent the park gazebo during the week.
Are we still in Huron at this time?
No. Well, I'm still living in Huron. I drove to Cincinnati for the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
We got married in Cincinnati. So I'm living in Huron. I drive out there, drove all night, 16 hours, straight through, get there, do the marriage license thing, have the ceremony, pack the car. I'm back to work Monday morning. So I'm newly married. I've got a car full of my new wife's stuff and a new wife in a house. We had known each other 15 months.
In 2 weeks of
actually being next to each other. And this was year 7. We had our 7-year anniversary this year.
That's crazy.
We had our second kid born this year.
Yep.
And I'll tell you, one of the best things I think we ever did was agreed to wait to have children.
Yeah. Because
when we got married, to say I had nothing was an understatement.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, nothing, and then nothing more. I was going to my grandmother's house for free lunch.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't afford lunch. And
I'd still do that if me mom was still around.
Well, believe me, if I lived
God
that
rest
close,
your soul, Mima.
And if my grandma was still alive, you can bet your ass I'd be there.
Yeah.
Because there was no better lunch.
Nothing beats grandma lunch.
No. And if you left hungry, it was your own fault.
Mm-hmm.
But we waited, and I'm glad we waited. Because we ended up moving from Huron about a year later.
Okay.
To come up here. And I mean, life has been good ever since, and it's a fun story for me to tell because there was so much uncertainty.
Yeah,
so much uncertainty. This lady I had barely known. I take the plunge and propose to. I move her a year later. I move her mom and her aunt into our house in Huron after we move up here to Mobridge. So I uprooted a whole family. You know, and
that's Ryan Leaf pressure.
Well, and it's kind of crazy to think about how much things can change if you're just willing to do something a little different.
Yeah.
Take a risk.
Yeah.
Because it was a risk. But to realize that it's a risk and still go forward, knowing that you're going to make a change in your life.
Yeah.
And whether it's for the better or for the worse, in my case, it happened to turn out exceedingly well. Mm-hmm. That it was a change.
Was that like literally like first girlfriend?
First girlfriend.
That's amazing.
First girlfriend. I mean, I had a lot of firsts.
Yeah.
With Katie, and it was terrifying. Mm-hmm. Because I had never had a relationship.
Yeah.
You know, I had always been a bit of a loner, and I was far more concerned in, you know, buying my house and getting my things established than going out.
Yeah.
My priorities were a little different. I bought my first house at 19.
Man,
it was contract for deed from a lady who ended up moving to Kentucky. But yeah, she was wanting to move to be with her kids, and the house was for sale, and I still own that house.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, at 19, that's not usually where the focus is at, especially equity. You know. And luckily for me, that part of town has had some new development in the last couple of years, so I might end up getting a little bit out of it when it comes time. But it's just,
oh, how our stories are different, Joe.
See, that's just it.
Yeah,
is everybody's story is different.
because
And that's what's fun.
you just kind of hit it perfectly. Where I have made every mistake that you could make.
Now, see, we could spend hours and hours on the stories prior to that.
Yeah.
Because there were lots of mistakes that happened before then.
Yeah.
But that's one of the things
But I mean,
that
on
I
like a
love.
relationship status, because like that's like, oh my god, you put me on the spot with like timelines and stuff.
God, I have to remember what year it was.
But yeah, I sailed the great seas for quite some time, and but no, for me, like personally, it helped me, because like I'm the type of guy that could totally pick the wrong person, just because there's that intimate connection.
Mhm.
But you know, you get the girl that is clingy or can't leave your, you know, there's got to be that mutual space.
Emotions play hard on people.
Yeah.
I mean, and you can get. I mean, I know I got attached to people that wouldn't look at me twice,
Yeah.
and because I knew who they were and I had been friends with them, but
Mm-hmm.
it was never that kind of relationship.
Yep.
And it's kind of funny what people will do
Oh,
for their emotions.
it's amazing. Like, you don't, how many friends I've lost over relationships just because being in a tough spot where you know, not even allowed to go out and see my friends.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just weird because I hear you talk and it's like first relationship in 7 years, and it's like, holy like, no, like it took 7 years of like brutality of different women for me to like be like, okay, I know what I need in my life.
Right.
Because, and it kind of worked out good too, because I guess it would have been April of 2012. I kind of got out of that muck, and I was single.
Mm-hmm.
Got a new job as a traveling engineer.
Which is cool, by the way.
Yeah. And I started out as working in northwestern Iowa. I can't think of the damn little town, just right off of Sioux City, and went from there up to Wahpeton, North Dakota, and I was working up there for 3 or 4 months, and I'd come back to. I was living in Mount Vernon, but I'd usually go to McLaughlin to my parents on the weekends, because we'd usually get Saturday or Sunday off. And I actually met Jill at I kind of knew Jill my whole life, because she was born in the same hometown or same town that I was living in, and she ended up moving away when she was like 8 or 9.
Okay.
So I knew of her.
Yeah.
And then I actually dated her cousin in high school, and like her first cousin.
Oh, okay.
So I
So
knew who.
So you
Jill
knew the family.
was. Yep. And that ended up going south once I went to college. And had some worse relationships in college, and but no, my high school girlfriend, Jill's cousin, her brother was getting married in Spearfish.
Okay.
No, Sturgis. No, Spearfish. Anyways,
Somewhere out there. in the
yeah,
hills.
and I got an invite, and Jill was there.
Okay.
And see, Jill was actually in a relationship, kind of the same story you had. Not, they weren't internet, but they were high school sweethearts. And she actually went with him to like Green Bay after they graduated.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, from Gillette, Wyoming, Green Bay.
That's a move.
And she was living down in Phoenix. Well, I don't remember, she flew up or drove up for the wedding. And yeah, we just kind of hit it off and ended up snuggling at the reception. And
Snuggling.
and then, you know, I was working on the road, so I went
Casanova over here.
I went back up to Wahpeton. She actually went back to Phoenix. But, you know, I guess she was in like a abusive relationship. Like, guy's a piece of shit. And so we were keeping in contact through social media and stuff. And
Isn't social media great?
yeah, but like the way I knew like I had good feelings was because I've been in so many shitty relationships. Talking with her was like there's no pressure. Like she'd message me like at 8 a.m. like, hey, good morning. And shit, I was busy. I'd message her back at like noon, like, oh, good morning, I'm busy. And oh, no problem, or maybe not message for a day and there's nothing. And it's like, man, she's awesome.
This whole different dynamic than you had ever had before.
So we kind of conspired, and she was pretty much done with that guy. So, and this happened in June of 2012. And then August of 2012, she moved back.
Mm-hmm.
Her grandmother actually lives in McLaughlin. So she moved back from Phoenix, broke it off with her boyfriend, and lived with her grandma. And I was working in Wahpeton, coming back to McLaughlin, so we'd meet up on the weekends. And
Right.
I think once or twice I took her over because I was just staying in a hotel there at night, so she'd come over and hang with me, and that
Snuggle.
snuggle. And that was
She might strike you if she listens to this.
yeah, maybe. And that was August, and shit, I think I did that. I was still working in Wahpeton actually until March of 2013, but so from November 2012, we got a house in Mobridge.
Mm-hmm.
We were renting that Muhlenberg house
Oh,
on
yeah.
Kennedy Drive.
Yeah. It's a nice looking house.
Yeah. And then in March, I guess I'm not quite as different as you. In March of 2013,
You just took longer to get there.
yeah. So if we say screw the wedding in June and kind of start the relationship in August, March I found out that I was being moved from, where was I working? I was in Wahpeton, and then I think they sent me down to eastern Iowa. I can't even think of the town. It's called the little Switzerland of Iowa. Was
Okay.
the town. It was
All
on the
right.
town size, but it was only like 30 or 40 miles from the Illinois border. And I was working down there and coming home every weekend, driving home 10 hours. And I found out I was going to the Cayman Islands to work for like a year, they said.
Okay.
So I was like, oh shit, I'm going to be gone 2.5 weeks. Jill's up here in this house, and we had 2 dogs by that time. And I was like, man,
Oh my.
I need to make a commitment. So
Yeah.
I think like the night I found out, I was like, I'm going to propose. So I went and got my ring and did all this stuff. I actually did it on my drive back from Iowa in Sioux Falls. And I literally proposed in the living room, like telling her what was happening. Like, I'm going to the Caymans. I really love you and this and that. And I
And I
enjoy
wanna
it.
make sure that you're here when I get back.
Because even that, like, me working on the road was not an issue with our relationship.
Yeah.
Like,
it just worked.
yeah, we'd call every night if we could. If not, a couple messages, or if she's tired, going to bed. Okay, good night. There wasn't that. Oh, what's she doing? You know,
Right.
why does she want to not message me? Like, none of that bullshit. Like, if
No.
you have that in a relationship,
No, it's
going
not working.
to fail.
Don't keep it up.
Like, at least
That is no way to have a relationship
Yeah.
with anybody.
And I coach high school football in McLaughlin now, and I see these kids, and these are,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna marry this girl, and I'm like, no, you're not. And if you're gonna, like, 95% chance you guys are gonna
No.
get divorced within
No.
5 years.
No. And I'm not one to say that there's, just one person for you out there,
Yeah.
because in fact there's an XKCD about that. That's how long it would take you to find that one person.
Okay.
But there has to be something more.
Yeah.
It can't be just a purely physical kind of relationship, because that falls apart.
Yeah.
You really, it has to be this emotional give and take. If you're in a relationship with somebody and absolutely everything has to be 50-50 split, something's not working.
Yeah.
Because that's not how life works.
No.
And that's not how relationships work, and that's just not how people work.
No.
You have to have this mutual respect for one another, so you can have those long nights and those long travels, and know that that person is still there for you.
Yep.
And not have to worry about it.
Yeah, to me too, the biggest thing is trust. Like,
Absolutely.
even tomorrow, I'm going to Deadwood.
Yeah.
For a bachelor party.
Yeah.
But I think we have that trust where it's like, okay, or she has a friend in Denver that got married. Her and her fiance, well, he got shipped over to Iraq, so they did like a quick courtroom marriage.
Yep.
Well, he's back now, so they're kind of planning the wedding, but you know, if she's
they can have
like,
their big
hey, we need a
ceremony.
bachelor party down here and Jill's got to go, it's, oh, okay, no.
Yeah.
It's not, you don't text them at 11 p.m.
If
like,
you get arrested, just call me after you sober up, kind of thing.
but it's, I don't know, you see it so much, like even at work I see it
You
with
do.
like coworkers, like they always got to be messaging their girlfriends or their wives or...
And that's no way to have a relationship.
No.
If you don't have that trust with that other person, something's not working right.
Yeah. And you both have to have it.
And that's just it. You both have to have it. You both sit down as adults and you talk about things.
Yep.
And you find out where you're at.
Yep.
And if you're both in the same place, bam, you got it figured out.
And honestly, what I learned in like that 7-year shit stain I was in, you know, is like I've had it both ways. I've been way too controlling.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, what are you doing? The more controlling you are, the more your girlfriend's gonna cheat.
Yeah, no.
It's like telling a little kid, "Don't touch that."
You know damn
The
well
fucking
they're
kid's
gonna
gonna touch it.
because you're setting this limit. Like, well,
Yeah.
who are you to tell me what I can and can't do?
And it's flip flop the other way, you know. If the girlfriend's more controlling, always thinking that you're doing shit when you're not, then you're like, well, she already thinks I am. I'm gonna go do it.
Right. I'm already being accused of it, and I can't prove my innocence.
Yeah.
So no, and that's just it. It has to be a trust relationship.
Yep.
It has to be.
But yeah, I'll be going on 3 years in July.
Good job.
Because I proposed in March of 13, and then I was working in the Caymans, so like I was there on 2.5 week stints, and then I'd come home for 5 days. And
Okay.
I had an option, like I could stay, like when I was supposed to come home. If I stayed, she could take my flight.
Oh, okay. So she
So-
could come and see you.
So I came home a couple times, and then over her birthday, which is July 10th, she came like June 30th, and we flew back on her
see,
birthday,
that's cool.
July 10th, together.
That's cool.
And but that's where we conceived Parker.
Okay. I was
So-
gonna say she's got to be around that 3.
Yeah.
So
So we were engaged for March, April, May, June, 4 months. Conceived Parker, and once that started,
yeah,
you know, Jill was pregnant. I was flying in and out from the
it's a lot
Caymans.
harder to make those flights.
And that went all the way till Christmas, because in October I left the Caymans, went to Austin, Texas. So I was still 2.5 weeks flying from
Yep.
Texas here. And Jill was this big, driving up to Bismarck at 11 p.m.
Oh.
to pick me up. And then 3 days later, drive me right back up at 5 a.m. in the morning to catch my flight.
That's just uncomfortable.
Yeah. And, you know, it's still working, but once Parker was born and I was home, like, and I did it until, well, November 14, I started at Wheat Growers, and Parker was born in March, so 8-9 months.
Yeah.
While Parker was born, I was gone, you know. I
Yeah.
probably only seen her 2 weeks out of that 9-month period. And I was like, you can't
You can't do
Yeah.
that.
But relationship wise, honestly, I think if we didn't have Parker, I'd probably still be at the same job
Mhm.
because of that trust, and I think we.
Well, and that's one of the differences that come with children is when I was first married with Katie, I worked overnights
Mm-hmm.
and she worked during the day.
Yep.
We literally never saw each other
Yeah.
because I got up and went to work at 6 p.m. I was home at about 7:30 the next morning, and by 8 she was out the door.
Yep.
So, you get a quick hi, bye, two ships passing kind of thing. And working overnights, by the way, will completely screw up any sense of time you ever thought you had. I don't know that I actually saw the sun for a period of like 2 months.
Yep.
Because I went to work in the dark
Especially
and I
in
came
the
home in the
winter.
dark.
Yep.
Because all I did overnights in the winter time, and you get messed up.
Yeah.
When you get home Saturday morning, you have no idea what in the world's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and we did that, and I worked those crazy ass hours because I could.
Yeah.
And we had that trust, and we made it through. But I wouldn't want to do that now.
No, but like, could you imagine doing that without, like, you're at work, you're trying to do your job, and in the back of your head, you're thinking, God, what's my wife doing?
Yeah. What's she up
She
to
hasn't
today?
messaged me. Like,
I texted her 3 hours ago. What's going
so
on?
much. Oh, I couldn't even imagine the stress, man. Well,
No,
I have been through it, but like,
but you
no
shouldn't.
way
You
I
shouldn't have
could
to
do
be.
that. No.
You shouldn't have to be. I mean, and like we said before, if you're in that kind of relationship, it's the wrong relationship.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's obviously not working for you. If you've got to wonder where your significant other is at and what they're doing,
Mm-hmm.
you've got some serious trust issues. And it's very likely they do too.
I was gonna say a big sign too. If you start losing friends, you need to get out.
Yeah,
If
it's
friends know,
they're perceptive.
and
They're a lot more perceptive
they're
than
in
you
an
are.
awkward situation too, because I've been in that situation too, where my buddy was with this girl. He had a kid with her, and just a horrible relationship. And it's an awkward situation to tell your friend that, like,
Hey,
man, I think you just need to get out of this.
you need to
because
cut your losses here.
that friend of mine, had health issues from all the stress of heart conditions and high blood pressure.
You can do that well enough on your own. You don't need help doing any of that.
Oh man. But he's out of it now too.
That's
Single
crazy.
guy.
Want to hear a funny story?
I do.
Okay. So, I bought Katie's engagement ring online.
Okay.
Okay. And I looked around and I looked around. I was looking for something very, very particular. She wanted, it was a vintage looking ring. I knew that was the kind of ring she had wanted. She loved those kind of rings. They're filigree, so they have these nice, intricate details on the side, and they're a very old fashioned kind of ring. It was a very
What kind of stone?
the stone in this was diamond. It was the style of the ring itself that was
Okay.
important.
Like a bigger band, or
It's usually raised,
yeah.
and you have these like intricate kind of carvings in the side, so you can actually see through it, and it's really neat.
Okay.
You'll find it in a lot of antique rings.
Okay.
The thing is being a poor broke 19-year-old, I can't afford a classic vintage.
You hooked. You
Oh,
hooker.
I know.
The quarters.
paid for it in $1 bills. So I'm gonna do a shameless plug here for website antiquejewelrymall.com. As funny as it sounds, they're quite reputable. So I looked through there, and I found the perfect ring. It's got some like little wheat stalks on the side, and it's got the see-through filigree detail. And I was posed with two choices. They were only about a $200 difference.
Yeah.
It was either a 24 karat white gold band with a slightly larger diamond,
Yes.
or a platinum band with a slightly smaller diamond.
Okay.
Okay, I went with the bigger diamond.
Yeah. Yeah.
Looking back, I probably should have gone with the platinum ring. It's about a horse apiece
And
anymore.
what did you go with? Gold band? You said?
So I went with the gold band with
Okay.
the slightly larger diamond.
Yeah.
And it had a matching wedding band for her, but I couldn't afford it at the time.
Yeah.
Okay. The ring that I bought Katie, her engagement ring, I think was the most expensive thing of our entire wedding. She bought her dress online, eBay, right size. It's what she wanted.
Yep.
For $100.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I went down and had my suit made for $300. I think the venue cost us like $80. We got out of that wedding with the food and the venue and our suit and dress.
Grand.
My mother took pictures. It was $1,000. We got married for $1,000. That ring cost me $12. And I financed it actually from my employer at the time for $50 a paycheck.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah, they worked with me really well
Yeah.
on the whole ordeal, but I couldn't afford the band to go with it at the time. Okay, that's fine. I'll get it later.
Yep.
All right. So I get the ring. I do the proposal in the hills. We do the whole planning. I lose the invitations at one point. We send them out again. There's a whole nother story about that. I blame the post office for a lot of things that they weren't responsible for.
Fucking government.
Yeah, I know. It's terrible. So it is the night before. Okay? I've gotten to Cincinnati. We've gotten all of our paperwork that day. Went down to the courthouse, did all the legal stuff. We're going to have the ceremony the next day. It's 10:30 at night. It occurs to me I don't have a wedding band for my wife. Okay? What the hell do you do at 10:30 at night in Cincinnati to get a wedding band for your wife for the ceremony the next day?
Pawn shop,
Everybody's closed.
underground casino.
Can't find anybody. I drove around hour better looking for anything. Walmart's open. Walmart's open. I walk in there. I go up to the jewelry counter. There's a plain white gold band sitting in their display case. It's the size I needed.
Yep.
Actually, it's about a half size too small.
Okay.
Okay. I don't care what it costs. I'll take it.
Yeah.
I buy it. We're in the middle of the ceremony the next day. I pull out this band. Katie takes a look at it. She looks at me. I squeeze it onto her finger because it's a size too small. And we go about our day, and she doesn't say anything. We talk about it later. You forgot the wedding band, didn't you? Yes, I did.
Yeah.
We get married, get her back to Huron. I take the ring down to the jeweler. I have him stretch it to the right size.
Okay.
Perfect. I tell her, I'll buy you the right band. I don't want the right band. I don't want the band that matches my engagement ring.
Yeah.
I want the band you gave me.
Did you get it soldered already and stuff?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. She keeps them separate.
Good. Good. I don't feel so bad.
No. Well, and see, her thought
I
is...
never really understood the wedding band. Like, because my engagement ring too, which ran about the same as yours did, you know, it was just a platinum band with
Yep.
a diamond.
Yep.
And then the wedding band's just got like it's just a freaking platinum thing with a little offset.
Yep.
And yeah, we never did get it soldered.
And
Jill just wears them together on her finger.
yeah, and that's how Katie wears hers. And the band was offset to accommodate the space for
Yeah.
the stone and stuff.
Yep.
And she says, "You know what? I prefer the the plain band because I can wear it and I don't have to worry about it snagging on anything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to worry about it catching any of the kids.
Yep.
And she said, "This is the one you gave me. This is the one I want." Oh yeah, no.
My ring, $34, pawn shop.
Katie actually, she spent like $300 on mine. She kind of went
That's
all
even
kind of crazy.
That's reasonable. Though.
But it is. It really is. It's engraved forever and ever on the inside.
Nice.
But it's titanium.
Yeah.
And I will tell you that this ring has saved my finger on more than one occasion.
Really?
It has. It's a size 16.
Ooh, that's a wide ring.
It's a wide ring. I've actually
I think I got an 11.
might not be able to tell. Oh yeah. Yeah. From my man boobs going on here, but I've lost quite a bit of weight
I can tell.
since I've gotten married, and I don't know if you noticed, but I walk around with my finger curled all the time
It'll fall.
because it'll fall off.
Do the test.
Well, right now I'm,
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but a little bit of sweat.
but
and-
yeah, no,
Yep.
it takes no effort at all. So I actually walk around with my finger cocked all the time, every day. It's weird. It's just reflex. When I don't have my ring on, I still walk around like that.
Joe's not saying 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink.
No,
He's trying to keep his wedding ring on.
we're not.
people.
We're not doing the shocker thing here.
Talking to you, Penny. She's a dirty old woman.
Oh, I love her so much. So she's actually considered getting me a new band.
Okay.
It's my goal to drop about another 50 pounds. So once I do that, get me another band
Yep.
that fits a little bit more appropriately. But yeah, no, it made me feel so bad at the time to know that I had forgotten the engagement or the wedding band.
Yeah.
And now that we look back at it, it is one of the funniest stories that we can tell each other, because it was me. I mean, it embodied what she saw of me. This kind of crazy offbeat guy who is maybe a little absent-minded,
Yeah.
but is
Yep.
good-natured, you know.
Yep.
And it was just fun.
It really is, and I was gonna bring up like this point that I just kind of notice. Like, I'm big on patterns. Doesn't it seem like the bigger the ring, the bigger the insecurity?
Very well could be.
I've had a lot of friends that have bought
Huge.
a lot of wives, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $13,000, $14,000 rings,
No.
and I don't even know if they've made it past 2 years. Like
No.
and they have these big weddings and way beyond their means of, me and Jill got married. We got married in Gillette. We did it in the courthouse. Signed our paperwork, and then we had, I don't remember the priest. I think the lady was from the courthouse that did the little ceremony. We did
like
it.
a justice of the peace.
Yeah, we
ceremony.
did it at the complex, like a nice
Yeah.
little park with trees.
Oh, see, that's nice.
I had my best friend as my best man. She had her best friend as
Yeah.
her bridesmaid, and maybe 40 people.
Yep.
And we got married. Our reception was tiny. We danced until like 5 p.m. and then we all went to Deadwood
Yep.
and spent the night.
And
And
I love that
mm-hmm.
because that reflects what our wedding was like.
Yep.
My cousin was my best man. He drove with me to help move Katie back home. Katie's twin sister was her maid of honor.
Yeah.
Her mom was there. Some gals from work were there. We had like fried chicken and cake.
Yeah.
I mean, and
I think we had the local barbecue guy cater.
I'll see, that would be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be a good time.
This is a franchise. I can't remember the name. Dickie's barbecue.
Dickies.
Yeah. That's good.
Could go for some nice barbecue.
I had ribs today.
Did you?
Oh my god.
I thought about it so bad. I've got
It's one of the things, like, I don't like doing it every Friday, but
I've got my smoker at home, and
do you have an electric one or a
I've got
fire?
I've got a charcoal one,
Yeah, that's what I have too.
and I want to use. I used to be really big. When I was young, we actually bought like this big smoker,
Okay.
and I smoked turkey,
Yeah.
whole turkeys, and pork loins, and
Yep.
I loved it. Absolutely loved it. My uncles would bring in 5-gallon pails of chunk deer meat. That I would process into like deer steaks and chislic and shit like that, and I would smoke loins, and so I love that kind of stuff. So I have mad respect for good barbecue.
Yeah.
I really do
I
because
hate it though. God damn, I hate it. Well, my buddy, actually for my wedding, he bought me, the grill's probably, God, I'm not used to the camera.
I know we'll
You
have
know,
to get you.
Probably 3 foot long. And It's
Okay.
got the firebox on the
Oh,
side, and I can set and I've done ribs and pork butts, for pulled pork, and then I went out to Austin's house, Austin Bone,
Mm-hmm.
like 3 weeks ago, and he had this electric one, and I was like, "Oh, you just set the temperature, and it's that temperature all the time, huh?" Yep. It had a little slot where you drop these round little wood chunks,
Yep.
and it automatically feeds it when it needs to. I
Oh
was like,
my.
God, I need that
Oh.
because
Oh.
especially ribs, because I always did the 3-2-1 or wrap 3 hours, unwrap 2 hours, wrapped again
Yeah.
an hour. It's so hard to maintain the
It
freaking
is.
temperature,
It is.
man.
That is one of the worst things. You want it to be 100 and what is
I
it?
don't remember actually I thought it was 225, maybe 200.
Depends on your doneness that you want. I know I've smoked meats for 12 to 14 hours with
Yeah.
a charcoal
Well,
box.
I'm talking ribs,
Okay.
like
so,
pork ribs,
yeah, so
baby
you're,
back.
You're probably going to want that 215
Yeah.
area.
Yep.
I've done like big beef roasts.
Oh yeah.
And you do those at
No, yeah,
like,
you're
like
14 hours.
yeah, 14, 16 hours at 100 and freaking 50 degrees. And I mean, it's beautiful when it comes out, but it kills you getting there because trying to maintain that heat.
It
with
literally is
charcoal,
like every
it just,
20, 40 minutes.
yeah, you
got
can't
the
go and do
thermometer
anything
in.
else.
Yeah, I did a pork butt one time on that grill, and it turned out pretty decent, but my God, did I fuck it. And I was working on the road. I came back. I flew in. My pregnant wife picked me up. I flew in on a Friday night. My best friend came up from Mitchell, the guy that bought me no, she wasn't pregnant. I lied. Parker was born.
Phony.
Because I had the smoker, so this had to be right after the wedding. It's probably August, 'cause we got married in July.
Okay.
Had the smoker set up. My buddy came up from Mitchell. I flew back from Austin. And yeah, I flew back Friday night. My buddy came, stayed, drank, had some fun. Saturday, I think we started that freaking pork butt at like 3 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
We were up until 4 a.m.
Yep. Yep.
And it's like, go to bed, wake up, eat pork butt, catch a flight back.
Yep. And see, for me, I haven't smoked anything in my smoker in years, simply because I can't devote the time.
Yeah,
But I do use it as a charcoal grill.
okay.
Fun thing about my grill is I was living in Huron at the time, and I'd wanted to buy a grill.
Yep.
I had found one in the garage. It was in pretty rough shape. It was an old gas grill. I might have been irresponsible with fire at some point and melted some of the steel, which you gotta try. I mean, the thing was disfigured by the time I was done. So I was at the market for new grill, and I look across the empty lot, and my neighbors across the way are having a rummage sale, and there's this big ass grill looking thing sitting over there. Okay, I'll wander over. I get over there. It's all rusted. Thing is, it's rust brown, top to bottom, in and out. He's asking 30 for it. I don't know. Paid him 15. Wheeled it home. It's made out of an old cast iron air compressor tank.
Okay.
Had the lid cut out.
Yep.
And it's got a big welded steel smoker box attached to the bottom.
Cast iron. It's all flavor.
Oh, I know. I'll have to show you some of my old cast iron I've got sitting around the house.
Nice.
So the thing weighs 80 pounds if it weighs an ounce. I wheel this back over. I borrow a wheel grinder from work.
Mm-hmm.
And I start going to town. I wheel grind the whole thing all the way down till it's shiny. And I go and I buy some high temp paint. Paint the thing black. Worked like a champ.
Really?
I hauled it all the way up here. I use it as a grill.
Nice.
So it's my charcoal grill. Katie got me a chimney starter
Yeah.
last year for Father's Day.
So my buddy that introduced me to it, I threw the charcoal in, the lighter fluid, and he's like, whoa, stop.
Yep.
He fucking dumped all my charcoal. I think we went to Runnings. He got me a fucking charcoal starter.
Yep.
And he's like, nope. This, and he got me a fucking propane torch. And he's like, we're going to sit and light this.
Yep.
Because he's like, and you, honestly, I tasted it at the Prairie Dog today. You can taste the lighter fluid. Like,
You can.
Yes.
You can. You so can. And I guess I had grown used to it because I didn't realize until the first time I used it without.
Yep.
It was like, holy shit.
Amazing.
Oh my God. It is so different. It didn't have that chemical lighter fluid taste that.
And even the smell, like
Yeah.
you get the apple or the hickory or the mesquite. It's just
Yeah, no, it was such
what you smell
such a
is what you
difference.
taste,
Yeah.
pretty much. That's what I found.
So, Katie got me a fire starter last year, one of those chimney starters, and I haven't turned back. I'll grill. I mean, especially this time of the year, if I can get off of work at a decent hour.
Yeah.
It takes me 20 minutes to start a fire.
Yep.
It's blazing lava hot. I can grill whatever we want.
Yep.
You know, from start to finish, I've got our food in half hour, 45 minutes. And it's so nice. And
so
I grew up on gas. I grew up on propane
Yeah.
grills, and I've got nothing against them.
No.
They're nice, they're clean, they work. But this is just what I've had since, and it's just worked. I've had no reason to upgrade.
Yeah.
Now, I'll have to show you some plans I have for a big grill installation I want to do.
Okay.
I'm really excited to do it. I can't.
It's gonna be part of your deck
Yeah, well, it'll be part of the
or in the
back
backyard.
The backyard. I'm actually gonna extend our back patio area where I've got the grill set up now
Okay.
out about 8 feet. I wanna pour some new concrete because that's where we have our fire pit and our chairs and things like that. Excuse me. But I want to build a brick grill area.
Okay.
And I want to have concrete countertops
Yep.
with the brick facade.
I think I know. Yeah.
And
Kind of like the wrapper, like the grill sits in, and you got your
the grill
counter
sits
around.
in, and I've got the lid built in.
Yep.
I happen to be a really big fan of homemade pizzas. It's something I love.
People that are listening, if you have a grill, take a Tombstone, any frozen pizza, cook it on your grill. The best fucking pizza you'll ever have in your life.
Love it. I've grilled pizza. And it's the way to do it.
We discovered this just smoking marijuana and being drunk in our oven. All right. I'm going to go into
Story
quick
time.
story.
I like it.
All right. So me and 3 other buddies, my second year of college, we moved into a double-wide trailer in Mitchell that subsequently burned down after the DEA raided us.
I think we might have had this featured on another podcast.
Allegedly. Anyways, there were no drugs in the house. But we met this Hooterite guy just shows up at our party. Ran away from the colony.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 17.
Okay.
He shows up with this goose. I'm not talking a wild goose. I'm talking a fucking white goose with an orange beak. Alive.
Like you would see at the state capitol kind of goose. Yeah.
Like literally rolls up on this party. And we're like, where did you come from? And he told us, yeah, I've been in town for 2-3 days. I got this goose, I just look for a place to stay. And we're like,
Oh,
okay. And he's like, he was so thankful. He fucking killed the goose. Plucked it, skinned it, put it in a pan and cooked it. Well, we're all drunk. It got done like 3 a.m. Leaked fucking grease all over our oven. Started a big fire that didn't burn our house down. The fireplace burned our house down, but
you still have a goose grease
so
fire.
we couldn't use our fucking oven. So me and my buddy go out and buy these Tombstone pizzas, and he's like, let's throw it on the grill. Let's heat. It'll cook it. Oh my god, I could not believe
it is the most crisp crust you'll ever get.
And then you look into it and like people are doing it, but it's something we just stumbled across.
Yeah.
Yes. The crust flavor,
so good.
God, it's good.
So good. No, I love that. I love that crisp fire roasted crust. So I'm gonna have this inset grill, and I'm gonna have a pizza oven. I want to have the big dome with the stack and shit, and be able to have that thing 900 degrees, and just cook the shit out of them. And I want to have a smoker built in, so that I can. And I haven't decided if I want to try to integrate an electric smoker into that. I think I will, for the convenience.
It's so much nicer.
And that's because I've looked at those electric smokers for a while now, and I've been pretty envious.
Even if you like, my dad actually built one out of an old refrigerator.
Mm-hmm. I've heard of guys doing that.
And God, that fucker! It just the insulation built into it. It maintains the heat. Almost identical to an electric one.
Yeah. And I've heard of guys doing that, and I think that's pretty interesting too.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I've got an old upright freezer.
Yeah. The biggest issue is finding wood. Because all we have, is either evergreen or, close as you can get is like a crab apple maybe, or a choke cherry, or.
Now, see, when I lived in Huron, I had all the apple wood I could ever want. My stepbrother had 2 apple trees in his yard.
Okay.
And they never produced very well.
Yeah.
And he was always having branches, and he just had this big pile out back. He just gotta get rid of. I was like, shit, I'll come and take all your branches.
Applewood is.
And I mean, that was just it. I came and I cut his branches down in these manageable sizes, and it was wonderful. About the best thing I've got now is the little green tree in the back that it's of questionable heritage.
Ayahuasca. The burning bush.
Yeah. So that was good for the fire pit. That's about it.
But I don't know what happens if you use an oak.
Then it'll just be a little bit more of an oak flavor.
Really?
It would be kind of like the same flavor you get from that. And I've smoked with an oak tree branch, because my parents actually had it wasn't oak, it was walnut.
Okay.
They had an old walnut tree in their yard.
Seems
And it smoked just fine.
Yeah.
And the flavor was a little nutty. It really was.
Yep.
It was a little bit more full bodied.
Yep.
You didn't get the sweetness like you'd get from a fruit tree.
Yeah. Cherry wood too. Oh my.
See, I've never smoked a cherry wood.
Fuck, man. That little smoker I did a set of ribs, and I used half hickory, half cherry.
Okay.
That nothing on earth that you will burn smells better than cherry wood.
I'm gonna have to get some.
Just sweet, yet it's got that hickory-ish flavor, but it's so sweet.
And see, we've been looking to plant some fruit trees, and
Well, like the guys who got the wine from, they
yeah,
produce plum.
they've got plums, and they've got cherries,
Okay.
and I think they've got, what else do they have? They have inside their garage. I just saw it. It's like a little orange tree. It's like a little mini
shit.
dwarf orange tree. So I'm really excited to see how that thing turns out.
Orangewood.
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Oh, I think that'd be cool.
That seemed really like Carolina-ish. Like they
Yeah.
get that kind of vinegary,
get a
tangy, I guess you'd call it.
well, and see, I think you can pick a lot of that up too if you like brine your meat.
Yeah. Yep.
And
Injecting.
oh yeah,
That is the fucking key.
I love marinating. I mean, you get that meat in a flavorful liquid, and you let it sit and soak it up and break down some of that connective tissue.
Yep.
And you have just this most tender piece of meat.
I don't remember what I did on that pork, but I think we injected like an apple cider vinegar.
Oh,
Kind of like,
okay.
I don't remember what the ratio was with the apple juice, but. And I've done one injection and non-injection.
Yeah.
Now that we're the barbecue experts. Welcome to the Barbecue Experts podcast. But no, injecting while smoking,
Yeah.
ton of difference.
Oh, making me hungry.
I know.
This whole discussion's making me hungry. I'm a big
Please
fan
stand by.
of barbecue.
We're gonna go set up my smoker, and
Yeah, it is 1:52
I have a chuck roast in the freezer.
Saturday morning,
thaw.
and we're gonna go outside and fire up the smoker and wake up the neighborhood with our fantastic smells.
I still got some mesquite.
Do you?
I got that little firebox.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So I just bought the little chips
Yeah.
at Runnings or whatever, but the smell, it's so freaking.
It's good. It's so good. Yeah.
I wonder when smoking was it's a pretty ancient kind of,
Cooking method. I mean, it's
especially pre-refrigeration.
it would have been
freezing.
a preservation
Yep.
type of thing, and you'd get things like your jerkies, your long-term salted meats, food preservation, something that you can pack and carry.
That's a big hunting, and basically like back in the hunter-gatherer days, either dried meat or
it would be a great way to make use of all the food, especially if you couldn't use it all at once.
Yeah.
You could preserve it through smoking.
Yeah.
Not only is it delicious, but then you don't have to worry about spoilage.
Into the Wild. Have you ever seen that?
I don't think I have.
Such a good freaking book. It's about the kid, grew up in Georgia. Is there like kind of a prestigious university in Georgia?
I'm sure.
Atlanta area.
Might be. I have family that lives down in that area, and I've heard them talk about it, and I couldn't remember it.
Yeah, I can't either right now, but some sort of law school. In this movie, Into the Wild's based off of this guy, Christopher McCandless.
Okay.
You've heard of the movie, haven't you? With
I've heard of the movie. Yeah, Elijah Wood.
No, not Elijah. God, what's his freaking name?
Into the Wild. It sounds
my
familiar.
phone's dead, but it was. Oh my God, I'm turning to Terry Brown. I don't think he's gonna listen to the podcast.
I don't think so. I think you're safe.
But no, it's basically this kid that grew up in a rich family.
Okay. Why did I think Elijah Wood?
Wow.
I've been wanting to watch The Lord of the Rings, and I think he's just stuck in my head.
One ring to rule them all.
I was also looking at your map of Westeros and thinking it looks a lot like Middle Earth. No, I'm excited as hell.
Me and my wife were like kind of spooning last night, waiting for you to show up because we were gonna do it last night, but it It didn't work out. We're here tonight. And my wife like looks at me intensely. I'm like, okay, something's gonna happen. And she's just like, Game of Thrones is 3 months away.
Oh yes.
And it still got me off. I was like, it is. So exciting. All the Starks are back.
Ready.
The Starks all found themselves back.
Oh,
Jon Snow, you motherfucker.
holy cow. It has been a roller coaster. We got completely off track again, but it has been a roller coaster because
Are you caught up?
I'm catching up.
Okay.
I'm catching up because the way I watched,
You know Jon Snow died.
I know Jon Snow died,
And then he came back.
and then he was a robot Nazi zombie. No, that's inaccurate. No, I watched the entire first season and I watched most
Have
all
you
of
read
the
the
second
books?
season. I have not read
Okay.
the books. I
Me
do.
neither.
I want to read the books, but then I watched every other episode
Okay.
of every other season
Okay.
up until the recent season, and then I watched all this last season.
That's tough.
And so you can about imagine my confusion
Mm-hmm.
because it was deep.
And
And I'm trying to ask my wife what in the hell's going on, and she said, I can't explain it to you.
she watches everyone.
And she watches everyone.
It's so fucking weird. Like, I don't remember season 1, the execution, Ned Stark
Yeah.
is just like, holy fuck, the main
Yeah,
character
right out
is
the block.
dead.
We're gonna kill this guy. All right.
And then season 2, they kill the wife, the 2 brothers,
Yep.
all the Starks, and you're like, what the fuck is going?
Who the hell are they gonna have left?
Yeah, and now but it's so good. Oh my.
I just and the whole explosion scene I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
With the where
in the church.
or-
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah. I thought okay, that was cool. That was cool.
I think my favorite is the girl with no name. What's her name? Sansa? No.
So
The younger daughter.
and it's not Sansa. She's the one with red hair.
Yeah.
I know. I can see her.
But you know
Is it
the
my
guy that's been training her?
Yep.
I'm going to spoil this for you, but
That's
not
okay.
really. It's not a big
That's
spoiler.
okay.
But basically,
Spoiler alert.
if
If
you're
you
not
haven't watched
watching
it.
Game of Thrones by now, you're a fucktard.
You missed it all. You missed all the excitement.
But the last
We still love
season
you.
episode, all right. Jon Snow, Sansa are together.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
They defeat Ramsay Bolton,
Okay.
the guy that was going to marry Sansa.
Yep.
And you're like, God, there's something missing. And fucking the younger girl that
Mhm.
was training with this guy with no name. I can't remember the king's name that murdered like the mom and Robb Stark.
Okay.
Remember at that wedding?
Yep. No, I remember that.
Well, he's just
That was another crazy scene.
he's planning this attack on Jon Snow after he defeats Ramsay Bolton,
Okay.
and he's having this late night dinner, and like the servant comes and brings him his food, and fucking like literally cuts his throat, and like it goes back to like the teacher, and he's like, the girl is ready or whatever to become him. And he's like, what's the girl's name? And she's like, the girl's name, Arya.
There you go.
The girl's name is Arya Stark. And Arya Stark is going back home to Winterfell. And like walks out on the trainer. Then it goes back to the guy with his throat slit, the king
Yep.
that killed her mom.
Yep.
Arya like did the face shit. Like
Yep.
had the face of the servant. She pulls it off.
Yep.
And he's like bleeding out. And
Oh shit. Her whole story arc was very interesting. It was really really
so
well
good.
done. There's just so many things going on, and that's why I was so confused.
Mm-hmm.
because you miss one episode and half a dozen people have died and you have no idea what the hell's going on.
Right?
Where's this person? Oh, they died 6 episodes ago.
Well, it's
You
just
just
like
never saw it.
The Hound. The Hound's still alive. Like, what was it, season 3? You thought Arya killed him?
Yeah.
Or he was dying and
Yep.
she left him?
Yep.
Yeah, he's alive.
Huh.
It's
No, yeah.
But
It's so good.
getting back on our smoking thing here. I don't know how we went from Into the Wild to Westeros, but
It's crazy.
no, this Chris McCandless, I think McCandless. This is a true story. This guy graduates prestigious law school in Georgia. I can't think of the fucking name of it. Ritzy family, but he kind of grew up where his family was really abusive. It was him and a sister,
Okay.
a younger sister.
Okay.
But his parents would always fight, and he graduates college, and he's just like, God, be a fucking lawyer. And they have like this meal, like post graduation, like
Right.
congratulations. Like his dad's like, congratulations, Christopher. Welcome to society where you'll provide and be a valued part of society. And
Yeah.
And he's
Good,
just
good
like,
job of being an adult.
fuck this. So he graduates. He stays. I think they're in Atlanta. He stays in Atlanta. His parents go back. They're not from Georgia. They're from like up north. Anyways,
There's lots of up north.
takes his social security card, everything, burns it all the money he has, and he just starts hitchhiking. And it's this whole journey. Like he actually ended up in it's not Howard. What's the town? Little town by Howard, South Dakota.
There's a couple of them. There's Fedora.
No.
There's Artesian. There's a little bit more to the west.
No, north.
A little north. God, what's north of
Can't
Howard?
think of it.
I know that area too.
Tiny town, but he
Yeah.
goes through there, ends up working for a farmer on his journey. His whole goal, he wants to live in Alaska.
Okay.
Just bare roots in the wild.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's the name of the movie.
yeah. But he ends up dying from he's living in like, he makes it to Alaska. He crosses like this river in, I'm guessing it's probably in the fall time.
Okay.
And it's like probably from me to the doorway away, 30 feet wide.
Yeah.
Crosses it with ease and makes it across and lives. He finds this like little bus that's been abandoned out. Maybe hunters brought it out or something.
Okay.
So he's living out of this bus and it has a little wood stove in it and shit.
All right.
And he ends up shooting this moose. Female. And, fuck, I don't know how much a normal female moose weighs. Probably a ton.
It probably very easily a
And
ton.
it shows him quartering it and trying to fucking smoke it and cover it. And he doesn't have a smoker. He has a flame meat and he's trying to cover it to dry the meat out.
Yeah.
Well, it shows the flies getting into it. And he's just so distraught that he killed this fucking moose. But that's how he got into this when he said smoke. Yeah. But he ends up dying. Out in the middle of nowhere
That's a
like
bummer.
this. But I don't know. I relate to him so well.
But it's
because
about the journey.
I've been to that point in my life, like before marriage, before I met Jill, where I was just like in school and I was thinking of all this fucking debt and all. I was like, man, I just wish I could fucking burn everything and just leave. Just go wherever I want to go.
Yep. No, I can completely relate because I felt those very very same feelings. Like, there has to be more.
Yeah.
There has to be more. There has to be more to
There
life.
is. The world is for the taking.
It really honestly is, and I think that's kind of a tie back to my story about meeting Katie.
Yeah.
Is nobody in my family had ever done anything like that before. That wasn't a normal kind of operation. You kept to yourself and you kept local and you meet people down at the bar and this is the way life goes. and it was terrifying because it was new and it was different. But just like you said, life is for the taking. If you don't put yourself out there and you don't take some risk and you don't you don't try new things, nothing will ever be any different.
Yeah. It's just like
You
our
will
podcast.
always be the same.
It's just like our podcast, you know? I mean, why are you guys doing that? Like, oh,
I've gotten that question 100
you
times.
got a podcast?
What are you guys gonna do?
And I mean, really, there's no pressure. Like, I could give a fuck less if we have 10 viewers.
Right.
At least we're sitting here, we're talking.
We're sitting here, we're having a conversation, we're putting it out there
Yep.
for anybody that wants to join in on the conversation. And you know what? We've been consistent.
I think so.
I've been really proud of us for our consistency, because it's really easy to give up.
Well, literally, honestly, we go into these things. Me and Joe woke up. I mean, we showed up at work. You know, we wake up at 6 a.m., show up at work at 7 a.m.
7 in the morning.
You know,
Do a full day.
Today was, a full, to most people, an early day for us. We got off at 5 p.m.?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, me and my wife went to a freaking movie tonight.
Yeah.
We're sitting here at, what?
A 10-hour day is an early day for us.
What is it, 2 a.m.?
It is 2:07. It is 2:07 in the morning on a Saturday.
Like,
I have to be to work at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning.
I forgot about that. I'm heading to Deadwood at 9 a.m.
That's going to be a fun time.
Bachelor party.
But it's easy to not do it. We talked about it for ages before we ever did it. And what you have to do is set a date and say, okay, we're going to go do this.
Yep.
And that's exactly what we did. Is we said, okay, I'm going to come over. I'm going to bring equipment, and we're going to start a podcast.
You gotta start somewhere.
Because you have to start somewhere. You will never get anywhere if you don't start. And I've put the same approach to my career. I've put the same approach to my family. I put the same approach to my life. Because if you never start on the journey, you're never going to get anywhere you want to be.
Yeah. And all I think about this is I don't want to be the guy that's fucking 55 years old, retiring and being like, man, what if 30 years ago I would have done that?
Right.
You know?
Right. No, you're exactly right. Why should you have those regrets? If you want to do something and you're capable of doing something, why can't you go and do it? If you want to start a podcast, start a podcast.
Yep.
If you want to quit your job and go back to school and learn a new skill, a trade skill, you want to be a carpenter or welder, you want to go back and get your bachelor's in science, go and do those things.
Yep.
There are programs to help you do that, and you should have some sort of support.
Yep.
If your current spouse doesn't support you in your endeavors, you probably have some trust issues that you need to work out. I mean,
listen to experts of none. Leave your spouse. Just leave her.
I mean, you need
pay
to have
the child
that trust.
support.
Yeah. It's really easy if you have no income, because there's nothing to garnish. That's terrible life advice. But you shouldn't have those regrets.
And Joe Henderson, if you're talking to a girl that you haven't even hung out with, leave her. Or fuck her. Just make up your mind, Joe Henderson. Do something.
That's a special message for you, Joe.
Don't not do nothing.
No.
Do something.
Either pursue
and fucking commit to it.
Or don't. Nobody likes being held online.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes things don't work out, and you need time to figure that out.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But you need to figure that out. One of the reasons my wife, who was the listener who wanted us to talk about length of, dating time. Hi, Katie.
Shout out to Katie.
was because she was reading an article that was saying that after 6 months of being with a person, you should be able to tell if you're going to marry that person or not. 6 months. 6 months of constant contact and communication with that person. Now, we didn't have that. I mean, we had constant contact, but not like face to face.
Yeah.
And, excuse me.
Bless you.
Oh my goodness. Most people are going to find their significant other locally.
Yeah.
That's kind of the general way it happens.
Yep.
So you're going to have dates, you're going to go out to movies and dinner, and you're going to interact with this person regularly. And if you spend 6 months doing that, you should have a feeling whether or not this is going to be a long-term thing or it's not. Me, I could see 6 months if you really know what's going on and you're both perceptive and you're both adults about your relationships.
Yeah.
Some people might take a little longer.
Yeah.
In my perspective, if you spend a year with a person, like with that person, by then you should know if this is going somewhere.
Well, honestly, it kind of, I think it falls on like an IQ thing too. Like, you seem like the type of guy to me that would quickly be able to call bullshit.
Generally,
on considering a relationship,
yeah.
And me in my younger days, I could too, but I just stayed in it for the wrong reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But
no, and that was part of your learning experience.
Exactly.
And those experiences helped you make the decisions that got you to where you are today.
Oh man, mistakes in my life have helped me more than succeeding. Pretty much.
And that's, I mean, that Hard Knocks are some of the best teachers that we could ever hope to have. And that's why I am sometimes slow to react.
Yeah.
Is I try to take into account information from other people. Mm-hmm. I watched the bad relationships that my family has gone through, and made the determination I didn't want that.
Yeah.
And so I was slow to react. Katie and I got married early. Yeah. And I doing this, but it really was early compared to many people's standards. Yeah. But I hadn't been in a relationship like that until that point.
Yeah.
Because I was taking in the extra information. I was doing my homework, and I was just generally slow to react on that front because some of it was fear. Some of it was fear of commitment because I saw how some of these relationships worked for other people.
Oh, it's amazing.
And I didn't want that heartbreak.
That's why I love Carnegie.
Yep.
I sat in there with the manager of Kennebec.
Mm-hmm.
And like for me, like Carnegie was like, "Oh, hey Skyler, here, go grab this basketball and dunk it on that Towler hoop." Like, it was a slam dunk for me. Like, it's in my DNA to be that person.
Yep.
But this fucking guy that's on salary, probably making, $100,000 plus a year, watching him just tremble trying to tell a life story in front of 20 people they didn't know.
Yep.
It just brings it back to take the risk.
Right.
Do what you want to do. If you want to be a fucking quantum physicist,
go
be a quantum physicist.
Go do it. You'll have new ideas and new thoughts, and that's just it. Go and do your thing. Because I had the same experience in Carnegie. I was the guy. Okay, we're gonna do something. 110%. Let's do it.
Like, this is easy.
This is I got this in the bag. I'll tell you stories all day long.
And it was so bad for me because, like, what's a good example of Carnegie? Like, hey, tell me a story.
Did you do the one where they tell you how, they have you show the class how to do something?
Oh yeah,
I liked that one.
I think I did. Oh my god, I did do that.
I liked that one.
How to roll a blunt,
How do? Well,
and I
I'm-
did it.
I'm glad you and I were along the same lines here.
Did you do the corn cob?
Mine wasn't corn cob. I was originally going to do how to play the tin whistle.
Okay. Yep.
That's what I was going to do. The day before I was supposed to present, I had my tin whistle in my back pocket. I sat on it and bent it. Devastated me. I love that tin whistle. So alternatively, I showed the class how to properly pack a pipe.
Okay. Yep.
And that's what I did. Is I brought my pipe. It's a
Take
very
out
nice
your
pipe.
seeds.
Yeah.
Get your stems.
And you get it all separated.
get it separated. Get it clean. You want a clean, flat
Yes.
surface.
And I had my
a good quality card.
my pipe cleaners, and I showed them how to clean the pipe and how to, because I buy tins of cake.
Yep.
And it's just flat sheet cake. And so I showed him how to break it up and to tamp. You have 3 tamps. You tamp a little, and you put some more in, and you tamp some more. You put some more in, and you tamp really hard on the top layer so that you can draw your air through. And, you know, that's what I displayed, is how I pack my pipe.
Yep.
Which I haven't smoked in a while since I've had a new little person in the house. But,
Yeah.
you know, and it was excellent. And after that, I had people come up and say, how do you sit up there
Yeah.
and just talk to us?
Yep.
Why not? Why not? In this room, we're all on the same level.
Yep.
And that's the way I approach people of every status.
But it's the same.
You are a person.
Did you do any theater in high school?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It falls back on that because, you know, I grew up in that. Like, it's weird, like, the way it kind of displayed on me. Like, I look like my dad, but, like, personality-wise, the only thing, like, that I think I got instilled from my dad was work ethic.
Okay.
Because it was fucking beat into
Yeah.
me.
No, that's what you did. Yeah.
But, like, I look like a track singer, but I have the personality of a Stuggemeier, like my mom's side. Like,
Okay.
my fucking mom, dude. If you met my mom, you would be rolling for days.
Okay.
My mom is so clever. Like I look at my mom, I'm like, my God, like, you're like Queen Latifah. Like, you could have been a stand-up comedian.
Okay.
Like, just
Yep.
sense of humor wise, like,
Yep.
just so quick, so clever. Like, you say something offbeat, should be boom right there on top of you, make the whole room laugh.
Wow. I love that.
But like, I
That's
got
great.
that side from her, but I look like my dad.
So you got the work ethic
Yeah,
and a sense of humor.
the work ethic had to be beaten to me.
And
Which-
it does for many of us.
which I don't-
understand.
You know, we're in this kind of touchy stage of existence right now, and I hated it. I fucking hated living on the ranch. You know what? When I get out of here, I'm fucking gone.
Yep.
And then you're gone, and you know, it takes time. You know, I think, what do scientists say? Every 7 years you do not have the same cells that you did 7 years ago.
Right.
Like,
Right.
pretty much every 7 years, every particle of your body is different than it was 7
It's
years
all
ago.
been renewed and
it kind of correlates. Like, you're different. Like, talk like I'm old. 28-year-old Skylar is not the same as even 25-year-old me.
No.
Or 22 or 18.
But certainly, I mean, you look at it on that time scale, each 7 years, you know, 21-year-old Skylar, 21-year-old Joe, they're completely different people.
Even like my ideologies, what I thought was important, what And that's just 7 years. And you know, you listen to these 60, 65, 70-year-old people talk, and you're like, oh, you're fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Nah, yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah,
but
sometimes, but it's just experience.
it is.
You know?
It is experience.
But it fucking drives me nuts, too. Like, my brother Tatum, he just turned... Did he turn 40? 78? No.
You'll get it wrong.
I think he was born in 78.
Okay.
He turned... I think this year he turns 40 in July.
If he was born
and
in
he complains about being
yeah.
old.
Okay.
I'm like, fuck that, man.
Yeah.
You know what? I want to be the guy at our job. If for some fucking reason, I hope I'm not there till I'm 55. But if I'm there till I'm 55, guess what? I'm going to be on fucking top ceiling cars when I'm 55.
Right.
Like, that's how I want to be.
I had a nice little talk with...
I don't even care. I don't care if I'm the fucking manager.
Right.
If I'm managing the company and I'm 50... I think me and Melcher would have got along.
Probably. I mean...
Because
it is an ethic thing, and it is a viewpoint thing. I had a nice little chat with Austin while we were cleaning out those bins yesterday.
Bowen was cleaning out bins?
Well, the thing was, it was Thursday. It was Thursday is what it was. He's now trained to be an entry supervisor.
Yeah.
So I went through the whole training with him, showed him what's going on.
Hey Austin, guess what? You're trained to be a fucking precision planting motherfucker too. But guess who does that? Me.
I can do it too.
Did you go on the training in Illinois?
No.
Oh, well, fuck you, Austin.
I just learned it all in house.
Well, yeah,
I
that's
can
what
do
we
it.
do.
I
But
can do it all.
they sent a fucking guy to Illinois, and he doesn't even fucking do it.
We'll get him there
You
someday.
need to quit on work. No, you need to get me there. Me and you.
So I trained him on how to be an entry supervisor, what to look for, the things you need to keep in mind.
Oh, as far as confined spaces.
Confined spaces.
Okay.
So I did that, and he was the attendant and the supervisor, because you can be both at once.
Yep.
And I was an entrant. And so I shimmied my fat ass into these bins, these portholes. I shit you not, are not wider than this. No, that's fine.
I'm gonna go pee. Joe's gonna plug a sponsor. We will get back on confined space.
Yes, confined spaces. We'll resume here momentarily. Today's podcast is fueled by Coca-Cola, which we are not sponsored by, but at some point I wouldn't mind. And our alcohol of choice this evening has been Jack Daniels. Made only in Lynchburg, Tennessee. It is a delicious drink, especially when paired with a little sweetness of Coca-Cola. Also this evening, I think our audio issues have been resolved. Hopefully when we review this session afterwards, we will find that is still true, and that we will be able to provide you fantastic content in the future. I will also mention that we are also on Facebook and Twitter. We will start to tweet out when our episodes go live. Excuse me. And I think we've got a logo. Do you have a logo? You have an idea on the logo?
Yes.
We're working on a logo. And we will set up some merch. We'll get outfitted with some nice T-shirts and shit.
Honestly, I
maybe
think
give a few away.
Where are we at? End of May-ish. I see no reason by early August, why we shouldn't have a complete logo merchandise.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
And then we can have some merchandise and some stickers and
Is your bladder good?
Mine's fine.
Okay.
Mine's good. Okay. So back to the topic of confined spaces so Austin was the entry supervisor. He was the attendant. He did an awesome job. Did the whole training, checking the bins and everything.
Yep.
I shimmied my fat ass into these bins. Built in, I think, like the 50s or
And
60s or something.
By the
like
way,
that.
guys, the entry hole is like,
It's if it's 3.5 foot
yeah, it's
wide, that's about it.
it's not very.
No, so you've got 300-pound Joe plus a body harness and a rope and all this good jazz, and I go in hands first. I told Katie this. I think I probably made a better breaststroke than Michael Phelps, but I didn't go nearly as far. He swims in water, I swim in sunflowers. So I breaststroke my way into this bin. I push off from the railing. I fit through, and we clean out. I did 2 bins. Brent did 3. He's a bit of a trooper. So we go in these bins and we sweep them out and we clean out the concrete, and it's all good. And I get out and I'm talking to Austin, and I'm talking about the cleaning out of bins, because there are many jobs where we work. There are a lot of jobs, and there's 1,000,001 jobs, and many of them aren't pleasant. They're dirty and smelly, and you're in closed spaces.
And I'm not even afraid to say it. Like, we're a growing company.
We are. We are.
At Unnamed Anonymous, but
which has only been mentioned about a half dozen times.
And we really do. We have 1,000,000 jobs, and we probably have 50 people on staff.
We do. At our location, we've got about 50 people.
And I think it's fair to say maybe 12, 15 people can complete 80% of the tasks.
I would say that's probably a fair assessment.
It's a weird thing. Like, the more you do, the more you do.
Right. And that's what we talked about.
It's not like, oh, you did that last. Oh, yeah, I'll give you a break, bud. We'll get no.
It's, well, why don't you come back and do it again?
Hey, do you have a copy? Hey, could you go do that again? Hey, while you're doing that, hey, can you get that loaded and this?
Hey,
loaded
and while you're also doing that,
hey, he's up at the liquid. You gotta load him up there too. So, oh, you're gonna have to wait a little bit. Why?
And that's just it. Is I feel like most of your team should know what's going on, but I don't feel like the same people should have to do it all the time.
No.
My title is bookkeeper.
Yeah.
I am a bookkeeper.
But you're one of the.
But I don't always do bookkeeping jobs.
I don't even know what you'd call it. 15% of the company.
Yeah.
Where you can, and I don't know
that might.
This is what frustrates me. I mean,
it's a hard metric to put.
We work at a grain elevator, but shit, Joe, it's been 1.5 years since I ran a pit.
Mm-hmm.
But I can still remember,
mm-hmm.
or not completely remember, but be able to look at the gate, the fill, the distributor, and be able to figure out, okay, I need to go into this,
I know exactly what you're saying, because all of the jobs that I've ever done there, I have to keep up on, even if I don't do them.
Yeah.
Yep. Because at some point, I'm going to be asked a question, or I'm going to be sent to go do it, or it not even sent, but there simply won't be anybody else there to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be the guy. Like tomorrow.
So I'm going to Deadwood.
Damn slackers. And it will be my job to go and do that. And I'm fine with that. It's just like cleaning out the bin, just like I was talking with Austin. Mm-hmm. I have no problem coming and do this, because I don't think the same guys should have to do this every time.
Yeah.
I really don't.
No.
We have 50 employees, and I'm not saying that all 50 employees end up in this bin. That's unreasonable. That is an unreasonable expectation. But I do believe that a larger percentage of our guys should be involved, because it makes them more rounded and it gives them perspective. And perspective on everybody else's job brings respect
Yeah.
about what the duties are included in that job. When it comes time for the warehouse, when it comes time for the dry or the liquid, whatever it is, I feel like knowing what that person's actually doing prevents he's just sitting there on his ass all day.
Yeah.
Because
it's
because it is about perspective on it.
I don't even know if I want to say this on air. But
we won't put it in the title.
Okay.
I keep hitting my mic. It's probably sounding terrible.
No, I'm not afraid to say this, but from my perspective, especially from my division, certain things always get pulled from my division.
I understand what you're saying. I know
what
where
I'm
you're
saying? Like, all right, you understand.
I know exactly
Especially
where you're coming
from. A day like today, let's forget the holiday. Let's say everybody's around.
Yep.
And a train shows up.
Mm-hmm. I know where two of your guys are going.
Where are the two top flippers coming from?
Yep.
My division.
Yep.
Where there's, I'd comfortably say 20 people in another division that could help.
Right.
Or it's just like I said, like, especially like our wheat trains, which that was the last one we loaded, right?
Correct.
I don't know if it's winter or spring, but you do a stowage.
Yep.
Stowage, you need two guys.
Yep. Last one was winter, by the way.
You know, get all them lids flipped. Once them lids are flipped, all you need is one person.
Mm-hmm.
All you're doing is filling the car, closing lids, sealing.
Yep.
You got them done. You got your 5-10 minute break.
Yep.
You seal another two cars.
Yep.
But for some reason, we have to have 3 people. It's just,
and when those people are available,
recently, but
that's fine.
Yeah.
Because it spreads out the knowledge. But
out of 50 people, you pull the same 3 people.
Right. And that is frustrating. And I understand completely where you're coming from because I have been you at our place.
To certain people. Like, in the wintertime, it does not bother me. Like, they will come to me and be like, or I'll go to our manager and be like, oh, I heard there's a train coming. Oh, yeah, we're good. You know, so-and-so is doing this and that. And like, I want to do that. Yeah. Oh, you want to do it? Yep. Okay. We'll tell so-and-so that you're willing
They
to
get
do
the day off and you step up.
Well, especially in that wintertime, but I don't know, this last train we had to come through, and
we might have another one this week.
Guaranteed we were a little slow this week.
Yep.
But it's so fucking spotty to where, all right, manager comes in. Yep, I got 5 guys doing nothing. We're hanging out in the office. Yep. Hey, can I get 1 or 2 guys? You could take 1. And manager looks around like, well, I'll take 2. I mean, and it's like, okay, yeah, take 2. All right, so there's 2 guys gone. I got 3 guys. Boom, delivery. 1 guy's gone. I got 2 guys.
Yep.
And just get hit hard.
Yep.
And for some reason, well, you know, the one guy that's always at the elevator that knows about as much as I do about my division, he's gone. So it's me and somebody that's not quite familiar.
Right.
And I'm so happy this year because, you know what?
I have got to say, this has been the most staffed I have seen your division in ever.
I'm waiting because I don't know what inventory will look like. It might be worse than last year, but I can comfortably say that I've done much less this year. Like, I have enough trust, or at least in, well, you know, the one guy. I have enough trust in this guy to let's get his fucking mistakes through.
Right.
Because that's what it takes. Like, even when I started God, I fucked up. I remember a day.
We make it. We all make them.
I remember a day, like 3 separate occasions. I ended up breaking like 11 sunflower bakes.
Yep.
And Jordan, my brother, was there, and I was just like, "Fuck this, man! Fuck this fucking place!" Just pissed.
Yep.
Because I broke these bags, but
I understand
that molded me into what I am. So
yeah, and at like $240 a piece,
yeah,
it gets expensive really fast.
And it's gonna be weird because last year we had 2 new guys, but me and the guy that had been there a while did not allow them guys to do much.
Right.
Like, overchecked everything. Whereas now this year, we got some good help.
And you've put more of that responsibility on them.
And it almost comes back to, like, the relationship shit we were talking about with women earlier. Like,
you have that trust.
You got to build that trust.
You have to build that trust.
All right, you fuck this up. This is what we got to learn from it.
Right. And if you do fuck it up, let us know. Take responsibility for it. We can fix it.
Yep.
We can move on our day.
And honestly, both guys have done that. Well, one basically does deliveries, and there's been times where, whatever products got broken, comes straight to me.
Yep.
Tells me right up. Okay. Perfect.
Yep.
Because what was happening was, where's this at? I don't know. Hey, what happened on the delivery? Everything was good. Yeah, nothing. I don't know. Oh, shit. Oh, no. Fucking 5 bags that broke.
Oh,
you know,
don't know who did
shit,
that.
but no, I'm encouraged to, but
it takes time. It does. It takes a lot of time and a lot of effort.
I don't really care. I'm getting to that point, but I'm getting bored with what I'm doing.
I understand.
You know, I'm at that point where it's like, give me something to, and it doesn't mean give me more on my plate.
Keep hitting this thing.
You know, it doesn't mean pile more shit.
No. And I know exactly the feeling that you're feeling because I have felt it and I feel it very, very regularly.
It's like, why on certain things, instead of internally looking for answers, we're outsourcing?
My response to that is I search for those things. I search for those things that will hopefully give me that sense of fulfillment and that more that I want.
Yep.
And it's often gotten me maybe chastised. Who are you to be doing that?
There's nothing wrong with that. Like, I've even been asked the question, like, all right, let's say so and so's gone and you gotta go manage grain.
Right.
Bring it on.
Yep.
You wanna manage the whole company? Bring it on.
Right. And
because honestly, I think as far as our 2 big plants, our agronomy and our dry, as far as them 2 go, I don't know if it gets any freaking rougher. Like, you've been through it. It is freaking.
It is. It's something. It is something.
And yeah, you have your days where, but it's so fucking random. It's so random. Like this morning I had freaking 17 tickets.
Yep.
In an hour.
Yep.
And then
you'll go 3 hours without nothing.
Yeah. And that seems when management shows up, I'm like, hey, what are you doing?
You're sitting around doing nothing.
You don't even
lazy
know.
Bastards.
You don't even know.
I remember when he walked in on us playing cards one day. And I had the best talk with him afterward because it's like, you know what? We're busy. We're busy all day, every day, during the season, and for 15 minutes, we had a break.
Yeah.
And we sat down and we played cards. And while we were playing cards, we discussed the day. We talked about what was going on and how things were working. And you know what? I believe that those 15 minutes of team building
Yep.
meant more than anything else we could have done all day.
Absolutely it does.
Those 15 minutes of sitting down and gathering information with the team and talking
Yep.
meant more than anything else we could have accomplished that day. And that's the way I like to approach it, is you need to build your team. You need to build that trust with your team. You need to sit and talk with your team. Lay out what needs to be done, what our goals are,
Yeah.
how we're coming on those goals, and what that outcome is going to be.
Yeah.
Because if you just let people flail around, that's exactly what you're going to get.
Yeah. Yep.
Is people flailing around.
Yep.
And you have a lot of wasted labor hours. There's a lot of things that can be done. There's a lot of jobs to be done. And I'm not saying that all of these people need to be responsible for all of these places. That's irresponsible. But there needs to be discussions had.
Yep.
And there needs to be team building had. And there needs to be hand holding. Let's go do this together.
Yep. Well, I think me and you are kind of cut from the same cloth. Like we were kind of talking earlier with a guy. We're going to kind of get swamped on some grain here towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
I am honestly, I think we both are the type of person, hey, I'll come, from 7 till 8 p.m., swamped in agronomy. Hey, if you need me until 6 a.m. the next day to flip lids or run stick or bring it on.
Bring it on.
But I don't know how many people that we have.
And I think that's a very short list.
But I don't know if it's their fault though. I don't know if they get pressured enough. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a difference between hey, can you, and hey, I need you.
Right. And you're absolutely right on that front. This is what we need to have done.
Yep.
And we have people with the skills to do it.
Oh, we have all the talent.
We have all the talent in the world. I look at our team of people, and we have 50 people. 50 people to choose from. 50 people is a huge team of people.
I mean, I'll even use an example. Like, we had this conveyor issue. Where,
all
right.
I have the proper tools. That's not duct tape for that, by the way.
I don't even know how to. I don't even want to go into it deep. But basically, the innards of this key switch fell out. And we had this guy come around and just basically cut every wire and just put a little switch and a push button.
Yep. Yeah. It's great. I'm going to say I love that. I've said it 100 times this podcast, but it is amazing. It is amazing because that's talent. I mean, that's he's able to look at the problem, identify what needs to be done, and he MacGyvers it together, and it works.
Yep.
And it works better than it did when we got it.
Yep. Yeah.
And it's great. And that's just it, is we have talent. You look at our team, you really look at them, and you take a good analysis of each individual.
Yep.
And you find that each person has their distinct talent. They've got a set of skills that are beneficial to our line of work and to themselves, that make them feel fulfilled in what they do. And it is really about developing that talent.
Yep.
That keeps retention. We have people that stay longer. It keeps fulfillment. They feel better about staying longer. And it's profitable.
Yep.
Training people's expensive.
So expensive.
My time's expensive. The 4 people sitting upstairs for 4 days is expensive.
My time's cheap.
Your time is cheap. We don't value you quite as heavily. But it goes beyond that, because by the time I get done going through the safety training for a new employee, they then have to be put into a role and be taught how to do it. I send 3 brand new guys to your doorstep.
Yeah,
How much time do you spend trying to teach them what to do? That's your time and your productivity, and their time and their productivity.
And then it's, where's this?
Exactly.
Where's that? What
Because
happened
they don't
here?
know what's going on.
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Exactly.
I was over here.
And it's
Oh, really?
expensive.
Were you?
Well, where were you?
Why were you over there?
Because I'm the only person that has experience right now.
But no,
it's hard. So we need to identify that talent we have.
Yeah.
We need to identify the direction that our people want to develop. If there are people that want to know how to run the elevator, let's teach them how to run the elevator.
Yep.
Let's get them involved. Yes, they might have other duties, and that's fine.
But for me,
But when they can step in, and they know what's going on.
There's got to be some sort of pressure of retention. Do you know what I mean? Like, and for some people it comes, like, I'm not saying I'm a fucking god, but for some people it comes naturally. Like, you're taught something and you're like, okay, I can grasp a little bit of it and piece the rest together.
Okay.
Where other people, you gotta show them literally 10 times. Like, it's just,
you
have to do it.
You have to guide them through it, and you guide them through it again. For me, when I walked into our elevator, I knew how it worked, because I worked in an elevator before for 5 years, and it was an old wooden house, and I pulled the levers, and this is how our distributors worked, is you stepped on the pedal and you turned the big ass wooden wheel.
What's this computer?
Right. And none of it was computerized.
Yeah.
Not a single thing. And I walked in and it was the coolest goddamn thing. And it still is to me, because everything can be started from anywhere.
Yep.
And I already knew how it worked. It was just on a computer screen.
Yep.
And I've always been computer savvy. So this was the best of both worlds.
Yep.
A lot of people will come in to that room and they will see that computer screen and they will look at it and they will have no idea what in the hell you do.
Well, it's just self-confidence.
And it is. It's
I
confidence.
can't do that. Or
you can do that. And it is the job of the people directing these employees to say, no, you know what? I have confidence in you.
Yep.
I have confidence that you can do this and you aren't going to mess it up and you aren't going to cause a major catastrophe. Just think about it. Think about the workflow. Think about what needs to be done, and you proceed forward.
Yep.
And it is that confidence that provides the buy-in. It makes people care about what they're doing. And we teach people new skills. People can step in. Because you know what? We have guys at the elevator that would love to take extra time off.
Oh, yeah.
And if we have people that can step in with those skills necessary to run those areas, why not? We need to develop them. And the same can be applied for every station we've got.
As long as it's evenly distributed.
Right.
Because me and you are in that weird role where it's either me or it's either you.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. No, in the
Out
event
of
that you're
50
gone, I'm
people.
there.
Out of 50 people.
And
if we're both gone, it's fucking catastrophe.
I get 16 calls a day. I've had it happen.
Turning my phone off. I am.
And that's fine. But I've had this discussion with other people before about overdependence, but
it goes nowhere.
I am a large proponent of talent development. if you want to learn something, and this goes back to taking a chance, if you want to learn something, go and learn it. Find the people that are doing it
Yep.
and learn from them watch them.
Honestly, I'll go back to Carnegie. That should be yearly. Every
I
location.
loved Carnegie. Given the chance, I would go back to it.
Every location.
Given the chance, I would hang another plaque above my computer monitor
Me too.
to piss the people off that are annoyed by them.
But it is. Like, when going into it, it was like, the first day, it was like, I'm getting that fucking plaque.
Yep.
Like, looking at, and, you know,
I'm doing it.
out of 40 people, but it's like, it's amazing how different people are. Like, me walking into that, like, just a little background on me. Like, I'm not fucking trying to toot my own horn, but I'm just no,
I'm just fucking with you.
Talking personality wise, like, going into that is like, I was fucking born to do this. Like, oh, you want me to go up there and fucking spin on my back and sing fucking Mary Had a Little Lamb?
Let's do this shit.
I'll do it better than the fucking instructor does it.
Right.
You know? But it's
Exactly.
amazing. And I'm talking to anybody, whatever industry you're in, whatever, the insecurities your CEOs will have, your CFOs, your vice presidents.
Yeah. No.
I guarantee 75% of them people will not be able to do that.
Yep.
They have too much ego, or they have too much insecurities, and
you won't catch me dead doing that shit.
You look up to these people, you know? They're telling you what you got to do at your job. They're looking, you know, sometimes they look
and they
down
don't have
on you.
a clue.
Sometimes they build you up. Sometimes they look down on you.
Right.
And it's like, you know what, motherfucker? I fucking spun on my back. I fucking sang Mary Had a Little Lamb. And you know what? I heard you couldn't do it.
Right. So how are you better than me?
When the pressure's cooking.
Yeah. When you have to talk to a group of people, when you need to get people on your side for something, you won't be able to do it.
No.
Because you couldn't face that fear. You couldn't face that stress, that anxiety of being in front of people.
Yeah.
And I could.
Yep.
And I can go to people and I can ask people, "Hey,
is it just a mentality?"
I think so. I think some of it's mentality. I think a lot of it's mentality. I think some of it is personality.
Yeah.
But if you have the right mentality about it, if you have the right thought process and the right drive, you can overcome your personal shortcomings.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You can overcome those personal feelings about it to do those things.
Yep. But like, I even get to that point, and I don't even know what I'd call it. I think I'm very unselfish. Like, I want people to exceed, but if you don't want to fucking do it, I'm at that point where I don't get paid enough to tell a grown adult that he has to do something. If you don't fucking get the hint, I'm not going to fucking tell you. And if I got a room full of people like that, I don't care. Like, I'm not going to do whatever you want. I don't care if it takes me... Oh, shit. Outtake number 3.
Oh. I was wondering when that one was going to come down. Oh, we officially broke the tape on it.
But no, like, I get to that point where it's like, I don't fucking care if I'm here until 10 p.m.
Right.
And I get no help, I'll get it done.
Right.
Even if the customer has to wait 2 hours.
Right.
I will go, I'll explain the situation to them, but I'll get it done. I can fucking do the whole job by myself. It'll be miserable, it'll be painful, but I'll do it.
And see, for me, I'm a little bit different. I feel like people should be able to look at the pile of garbage in front of them and take care of it.
it gets to that point where,
But I mean, not to say I don't get frustrated about it. I understand the frustration.
no, I don't get. Let me clarify.
Okay.
I don't get frustrated.
Okay.
Like you said, if there's a pile of garbage in front of you, and you're too ignorant to see it,
Right.
I'm not gonna say anything to you. I'm not gonna say, "Hey, can you go pick that up?" I'll go pick it up while you're looking at me pick it up
Yes.
and throw it away.
Right.
But I'm not saying anything about it. What I'm trying to fucking is like, oh shit, maybe I could have picked that up.
Right.
But sometimes you don't get that, which is
And
fine with me.
Right. And I will do the same thing. I will go and I will do it.
Mm-hmm.
I will lead by that example.
Oh.
But if I notice after a number of times that you haven't picked up on what's happening,
Yeah.
I will then direct
Yeah.
you on it. I will say, okay, we're going to go and we're going to go sweep the floor.
Yeah.
I want you to come with me and we're going to sweep the floor. And you feel like you're teaching a kindergarten class,
Yeah.
but you get the floor swept. And you do it again. 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 Until you are blue in the face asking people to come and sweep the floor. But that's just it. As long as you're there every single time, it's no longer a, well, he's just telling me to go do the shit he doesn't want to do. It's, oh, maybe he's trying to get across the point that the floor needs to be swept.
But some
Or the
people
garbage
don't
needs to
even
be taken
realize
out.
that.
And I understand that. And you're going to have those
Like,
people.
for me, it honestly, it almost distinguishes laziness from stupidness. Stupidness, you could be like, oh, I didn't think of that. But you see it, and then you're like, oh, shit, yeah, I'll
Right.
go help. Laziness is just, I'm going to completely ignore it
Right.
and slide by.
And this isn't my problem, and we'll just let it happen. And,
Yeah.
and somebody will eventually come along.
Yeah.
And that is one of the metrics that you have to take into consideration when looking at people for advancement. When looking at people for additional development.
Yeah.
Because the person that does eventually pick up on it, you then know at that point they're starting to take some ownership of it.
But honestly, like, going into my next evaluation, and I know it's going to be tough for me, but, like, I'm going into my next evaluation, like, what's next? Next, I'm bored.
Yeah.
What's next? Oh, you
Yeah.
want me to do that thing again that I did for the last 3 years?
Yeah. Right.
And I'm not,
No,
again, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but
I understand completely where you're coming from.
it's really hard when, and I'm not afraid to talk about this shit. It's really hard getting an 18-cent raise.
Oops. I keep hitting my microphone.
When you're missing 40 grand and you find when you find a loophole that got missed that had like $40,000 that you find.
Right. Yeah.
And then you go into your evaluation. But
Oh, really? No, I know.
I'm at that point too where it's like, what's next? Like, I'm ready for something else. Like,
I know what you're saying.
give me something that's a challenge.
I am 100% behind you
Mm-hmm.
because that is the exact same thing that I've done.
But that's what we need to do.
We need to continue to challenge
our
those
roles.
that want to be challenged.
And maybe it's not our location. Maybe it's another location.
Right.
But if there's a position there where you can move me up, where you can give me a new challenge, a new set.
Some hard goals that we can work toward that actually put development on the table.
Because guess what? Mentally, I'm there.
Right.
Physically, I feel like I can do anything.
Right.
I don't know. Like, even...
And that's the exact reason I took the role I'm in now.
Mm-hmm.
That is the exact reason. Is
Yep.
that I went
Because it's a new thing for you,
because
but
it was
yet,
a new thing for me.
hey, we need you to go do train, or hey, we need you to go
Right.
unload liquid cards, or hey, we need you to go unload beans.
Right.
You can do it.
Right. And that's one of the reasons I really like where I'm at now.
But it should be valued. That should be valued. It shouldn't be piled upon.
and I
Oh,
I agree
hey,
with you there.
He can do this.
Yeah.
No, there'll be
Yeah.
15 people, but none of
I
us
know-
know how to do that.
I know he will go and
None
do
of
this.
us know how to do that. We all make more than him, but he knows how to do that.
Right.
He can go do it.
Right.
There's none of this. Oh shit! I've been here for 5 years, and I don't know how to do that. You know what? I'm gonna go with him and try to figure out how to do that.
I'm gonna go and learn that.
So maybe I know how to do that.
Right. And I couldn't agree with you more.
And trust me,
I really couldn't.
I've brought it up and just been straight criticized for bringing it up.
And that's not right.
Which, I mean, honestly, I think what we're saying now is completely fine. Like, I don't feel bad talking about what we're talking about.
No,
Because we're talking about it.
No, because we're talking about it, and these
If
are
it is a problem,
are legitimate feelings, and there are legitimate concerns within those feelings that
for Acme Grain.
that talent development. I mean, it should be absolutely fine for me to look at a problem and try to find a solution.
Yeah.
That should be a valued trait of any employee, that they look at the problems around them and they try to find solutions. That should be valued.
I'll give a fair example right now. Like, I could look at you right now. Like, I look at the things that you taught me about where we work, what we do, what you do. Like, I even come in shit that doesn't even involve me. I see you doing, and I ask questions like, what's going on? What's this?
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
I honestly, at your position now, I could see you. I mean, you have the capabilities of being a freaking CEO. Really. Like, I'm not trying to. Like, I'm just saying.
It's not just lip service. No.
That you have them capabilities. But it gets.
Yeah.
It's just murky water. It just gets lost. For some reason, it's outsource. Everything.
And that's one of the things that I try to change day to day. And as many things as I can do in-house, I do. And I think that's one of the things that kind of sets our location apart, is I really strive to do as many things on our own as we can. And sometimes that's not always looked upon in the most friendly of light.
No, I honestly, where we work, our location to my personality fits me perfect, because our location within the company has a chip on its shoulder. I am built with I got fucking 15 chips on my shoulder. Like, oh, he can't do that.
Right.
Oh, sit back.
I'll show you.
And you know what? If I don't get the first, second, third, fourth, fifth time, I'll learn the sixth, seventh,
Exactly.
eighth, ninth.
And I will continue to learn it until I'm the best goddamn person that can do this.
Exactly.
And that's exactly
I wouldn't know a fucking thing about liquid fertilizer if I didn't pester you every day this winter.
And you know what? I love that.
Yeah.
Because it forces me to keep my skills sharp. It tells me that somebody's relying on me to know my shit.
But imagine if you had 50 people interested.
I would
striving.
love that.
Yeah.
I would love that, because then, I mean, our entire facility would run so much more efficiently. So much more efficiently. if everybody that would even encounter that job knew what it was about.
And that's how that's how I'm trying to run it this year. Like, even on my part, I got new guys working.
Yep.
And it's as simple as a radio call, calling in an order. Hey, I need this many.
Exactly.
And, oh, what do you say? And I do the shit like, I don't know, I didn't hear it. Maybe call him back and ask him.
Yep.
It's just...
No, that's exactly it.
And that's what it takes. God, why are we talking about work?
Well,
next subject.
I know. Well, it all ties back together.
It does.
It all ties back together to the individual, to how we live our lives,
Yep.
and how we get by.
Yep.
It ties back to the struggles that we went through in our youth. It comes back to the struggles that we've had in our relationships. It comes back to how we've pursued our lives and how we've taken control of our lives. Because the way I see it, excuse me, I am the master of my destiny. And how my life ends, barring any major accident, is a direct result of the choices that I make. And if I'm not making good choices at home,
Yep.
in my personal life with my wife and my children, if I'm not making good choices at work, in my career, pursuing the things I want, not holding myself back for fear of the unknown, then maybe at some point I'll get to 97 years old, and I'll be able to look back and be like, you know what, I'm goddamn glad I moved to Mobridge, South Dakota,
Yeah.
and took a job that I had no money and no prospects and no idea what was going to happen, and I made it work.
Yep.
And that's really the point that my life changed, because I was able to make those choices.
But we go into like psychology, like, what about people? I mean, I think you and me, Joe, kind of have similar ideologies. You go back into like religion based and this and that, and
Right.
and it kind of, I'm not trying to bash religion, but it just
No,
holds
no,
the
no,
guy
no, no.
back. I'm not saying if you're religious you can't achieve anything. I mean, obviously you can.
Oh no, we both know plenty.
But
of
I've
people,
ran
but-
into people in my lifetime that, just have no faith in themselves.
No.
Just, it's all going to work itself out. I
We'll
give
just-
myself
we'll
to a
just-
high power.
Right.
I don't know why I do this. That's so racist.
Yeah.
Why do I do this?
Yeah, that's.
I don't know, man, why I do. I'm trying to do black now.
Yeah, no,
But-
you're just offending anybody south of the Mason-Dixon line.
Black people love Jesus.
Some,
That should
not
be our-
necessarily all.
That should be the
We don't
title
know.
of this podcast.
Black people love Jesus. Yeah.
They really do. They sing much more
Uh,
empathetic.
well, I think there's a lot of feeling there.
So much
and
soul.
there really is.
Just for people that don't know, 90% of rock and roll was created by the black man.
You get a lot of soul, a lot of deep feelings.
Yep.
Speaking of rock and roll, I listened to a song put out. It was an Iron Maiden song.
Ooh, which one?
It was-
Run to the hills.
that's exactly the one. But it was performed by the Harp Twins.
Okay.
And I don't know if you've ever listened to the Harp Twins, but they push out a new video on YouTube all the time, and they performed all over the country and for presidents and all these fantastic venues.
So they're
And
twins.
They're twins and
that
you
play
can-
the harp.
You can see it, and they play the harp.
Okay.
And they do all sorts of music, and they just did that one by Iron Maiden.
Oh, that's the best. Oh, I'm a big fan of Number of the Beast.
We'll have to.
Sex. the number
I'll pull it up after our show tonight.
Hell and fire.
But I love watching them perform because they play a lot of music that you would not expect to be played on a harp.
Yeah.
And sometimes they're on their own harp, sometimes they're on a single harp. They've got all sorts of stuff. It's really neat.
That is.
And you see the creativity that goes into this and the passion
Yep.
that goes into their work.
Well, have you ever heard of Apocalyptica?
I have heard of Apocalyptica. I love
Like
Apocalyptica.
fucking cello,
Just
heavy metal.
rock your
Oh my
world.
God.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love what's his name? David Garrett?
Yep.
David
Yeah.
Garrett? Yeah. No, he's great. I've got a bunch of stuff downloaded on my Amazon.
Well, no, it's good shit. Like they write their own shit, but like what they cover, One by Metallica. I think, on
Yep. And
cello
yeah, and I mean you get these covers and you
they
you
take
listen,
these mainstream rock
you
vocalists.
listen to this
and
music
make
that you've
these
heard
songs.
100 million times and you hear it reinterpreted
Beautiful.
and it means so much more. You
I
get such a different feeling about it.
I always question this because, I mean, I guess I am an amateur musician, but I listen to these raw recordings like.
I love acapella.
I'm
Like
yeah.
like, well, maybe or like acoustic.
Yeah.
What is
Yep,
yeah,
yep, yep.
acoustic is I
Yep.
think. I mean, I love acapella
like
too.
me, like
Pentatonics, but they're good. Have you heard Pentatonics?
yeah, the Christmas. I've heard them
Yeah,
Christmas
yeah,
time,
yeah.
but
no, but what was
what I was saying is like
acoustic?
my two favorite, I guess, mainstream artists right now, Lady Gaga and Sia.
We were talking about this.
They're both songwriters that
Yep.
came from nothing,
Yep.
wrote songs for other people, and then discovered that, like what you don't understand, especially about Sia, like every song that Katy Perry, Rihanna, all these mega pop stars are singing were written by Sia.
Right there. Yeah.
And then you listen to Sia sing these songs, what you find is that the Katy Perrys and the Rihannas are just imitating
It's
the Sia. It's like
they performed their own cover.
no, basically Sia writes the song, sends it to them, they listen to it, and then just imitate her.
Right.
yeah, like you said, like the cover, and you're like, why the fuck am I doing? Like, why don't I just listen to Sia? And I didn't even realize it until, well, when I was working my engineering job, but I had Sirius and Howard. Howard had Sia on,
Oh, okay.
and he had Lady
God,
Gaga.
it'd be cool to
And these
sit
fucking-
and talk with Howard.
Howard is the best fucking interviewer of all time.
God,
He
that'd be
beats
so cool.
Barbara Walters, Dan Rat. He beats them all. He is the best. And his audio quality and
Oh,
These-
it's wonderful.
the things that
So good.
the thing that fascinates me is these artists roll in at like 6:30 a.m. The only reason they're at Howard is either they fly the red eye from a show or they just did a show the night before and wake up 4 hours later.
And go and do this interview.
And you can tell the shitty artists, but the Sias, the lady, just any
notch.
time, any day, any night, up for 72 hours.
On point.
I'm singing the fucking song the same way every time.
Exactly.
So beautiful.
Yeah. No,
That is art.
It is art. It is some of the deepest, most soulful art you could hope to get, and because they pour their passions right into it.
Yep.
They give their everything for it. You can tell that music is a reflection of their inner self.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it meaningful. It's not superficial.
Yeah.
And
No.
and that's what allows that to perpetuate. And that's why we remember some songs. And there's so many songs that have been sung that are lost to obscurity. But you get some of those songs. You get some of those people that have sung the blues. You get some of those people that have performed rock anthems that, I mean, I listen to Blackmore's Night because I enjoy the style. But,
Yep.
I mean, I listened to Richie Blackmore when he was in Deep Purple. Who hasn't?
Richie Blackmore. All right. For all you metalheads, Richie Blackmore and Deep Purple invented heavy fucking metal. Like, that was the root.
That was it. That was
Before Led Zeppelin, before Iron Maiden.
You couldn't
It
ask
was
for
Deep
a better
Purple.
foundation than Deep Purple. You couldn't ask for a better guide than Richie Blackmore.
I honestly think Deep Purple was the first band that played a song on guitar in drop D.
And what I love most about Richie Blackmore and it ties into what we were talking about earlier is not being afraid to pursue what you want.
No.
Because that's exactly what he did.
Yep.
He wanted that music that he could go and perform in a tavern to 34 people.
Yep.
And that's exactly what he's done.
Yeah.
And he can do it, and he's happy, and he's fulfilled, and he knows that this is what he wants to do. And it is completely different than anything he's ever done.
Yeah.
I've listened to a lot of folk music. I've listened to a lot of new age, and I mean it fits into a lot of things that I grew up listening to, the Enyas and Lorena McKennett's and you know, but it's completely different than Deep Purple.
Yeah.
You hear that riff, and you know, everybody knows.
Yep.
It is the most pervasive guitar riff. I think anybody that's ever picked up a guitar plays that the first time.
Smoke on the water.
Exactly.
Bow, 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 bow.
And the music that Blackmore's Night produces
Yep.
is completely different, because he took that risk, that leap, and I watch videos and I listen to music and I read the comments, and it's you know, he needs to go back to this. No. Why?
Yeah.
Because he pursued his dream. And that's what all of us should aspire to do, is to not... Fear isn't a bad thing. Fear keeps us alive, but it shouldn't paralyze you.
Yep.
It shouldn't stop you from pursuing those
Well,
things.
you know, like, I'm connected to art. I draw, too. I mean, I dabble.
Yeah.
But what I learned, I was first a musician, and then I started drawing. Because what I learned from music is that I need to express myself. Same as in art. When you look at art, like, even if you're looking at, like, this wives club that gets together every week and paints the same picture, you can tell the people that are trying to imitate art and the people that are painting what they feel.
Right.
And it just comes out clear as day, especially, and it correlates whether it's art, poetry, music, writing. You can tell people that are trying to imitate writing, like, oh, I want to write like Stephen King, so I'm going to kind of imitate him. Or somebody that's going to write horror, but express themselves through it. And that's what I love about art, is you can see through the bullshit.
Every time.
I mean, even in these mom clubs where 20 people paint the same picture, you can see the one or two pictures where
there was feeling behind it. It wasn't just, this is the picture I saw, this is the picture I painted.
Oh, here's the lazy sun, here's the lazy tree.
Exactly. They put a little bit of themselves into that painting.
And you can hear him singing.
Yep.
Just like I know Chris Stapleton, kind of I don't know what they fucking label him as, outlaw country maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
And I never heard of him. I mean, he was mainstream probably the last 2.5 years. I just started listening to him maybe 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I listened to him. I'm like, oh my God, he's not. I mean, he is like, he's country because what's country now is not country.
Right.
That Florida Georgia line fucking bullshit. No, he's country, but like you listen to him and it's like, holy fuck, like he rocks harder than Seether or Shinedown. But yet it's simplicity, but he's not imitating anything, but
right.
And you listen to these interviews, I got big into him these last couple weeks, and he gives these interviews. Charlie Rose on PBS, and Howard Stern, and all he says is he's like, I'm not in this to make money. He said and he writes country songs for every big name country artist you know. And he said, I make music that I'd want to listen to.
Right.
I don't make music to make that hit song. I don't make music to make money. And yet, in doing that, in showing himself through music, he's making hit after hit after hit after hit. He's not trying to make hits. So he's just
he's just passionate about it. And you hit it exactly what he said there. Is he's producing the music that he would want to listen to. Mm-hmm. That's the exact same feeling that I get when I paint.
Yeah.
I'm painting the pictures that I would want to hang in my own house.
Yeah. I got to go to Bob Ross. You're following a painting of Bob Ross's.
Right.
But you're not fucking pausing the video. Oh, I got to get this branch this way. Got to get this. No. It's your fucking world.
Exactly.
Bob Ross puts this fucking tree over here. Fuck Bob Ross. He doesn't know shit. This tree is going over here.
That's where this one grew this time. And that's exactly the same feeling that he puts out when he paints those pictures.
But I think
like, this is your world.
And that is the definition of art.
Yes.
Art is not imitation.
No.
That is... I don't know what the definition of imitation would be, but it's not art.
No. And
art is self expression.
Right. And I think that is the baser instinct of art is self expression.
And you, I don't know if you'd call it imitating. You can take somebody else's idea of art, like,
and interpret it.
Yep. Interpret. That's the word.
And that's your feeling on
it.
And it becomes something new.
And it's completely different.
Exactly.
You wouldn't even recognize it unless somebody
you might have been inspired.
Yep.
And that is absolutely fine. Be inspired. I've been inspired by Bob Ross. I've been inspired by musicians. I see people. I watched a new video from the young lady who plays the hurdy-gurdy. Yep. She put out a cover of Sweet Dreams by the Eurythmics. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I loved her style. I loved the way she played it. And it just reinforced the fact that at some point I want to own a hurdy-gurdy.
I don't know if I'd like it. I'm more of a Manson Sweet Dreams.
That was a good one, too. I think you might like this one. But
that's a good... Between the Eurythmics and Manson, how completely different that song was.
It's the same song.
Yep.
Same words, same rhythm, different feeling.
Yep.
Different interpretation. Manson took the song and he made it something of his own.
Yep.
And that is what we do. Is you look at this Star Wars poster, and you might get inspired to paint one of your own.
See actually a little dick in Cult by two big balls.
You could, right.
A little penis.
Right. Yeah, you could do that.
But Joe sees a fucking big old schlong with two little nuts.
Right.
Two different interpretations.
And that's just it. It is interpretation.
Yep.
Just like how we got on the whole Game of Thrones thing earlier.
Yeah.
It's because I said Elijah Wood, because I've been thinking about The Lord of the Rings because I saw this and it
Which
reminded
came
me,
upon LeBron James in the trilogy.
and it all ties back together, and it is a very circular thing because
You not have to pee yet? I have to pee.
well, we're hitting our 3-hour mark in
Are we?
exactly 1 minute. So
Well, let's keep going. Let's go a little bit long. I can hold my pee a little bit.
well,
We're at 3 hours?
we're at 3 hours, and I got to be to
Shut
work
the
at 7
fuck up.
o'clock. So we should probably wind her down.
3 hours.
2:59:17.
10 more. We could do 10, 15 more. man.
10 more. 10
I
more.
think so. I think we could touch on one more subject.
But that's how it all ties back together.
Yeah.
Is experience and interpretation. I saw the map. I thought Middle Earth because my wife, for my birthday, I think it was my birthday or Father's Day, one of those big holidays where she gives me things. I loved it. She took a plain box, and she wood burned it
Okay.
with a map of Middle Earth. It's great.
You got to marry that woman.
Yeah, I know. We'll do a renewal in
All I thought was
3 years.
Oh no. Fuck, what's the Lord of the Rings song? I did Game of Thrones song.
It's stuck in your head. And inside the box was a little clay figurine of a kraken.
Pirates?
I loved it. And I opened the box and I released the kraken, and it makes me laugh every time. you know,
Is that your sexual move? You grab the box and
let's release the kraken tonight.
Katie.
Oh, she's gonna kill me.
That's fine.
That's alright.
My wife is the same.
But that's just it. You know, it is those simple things in life.
Yep.
You know, it's the listening of the music, it's the looking at the art, it's the clay figurines that bring you joy.
And let's go further into music. Me and you could listen to the same song and interpret it in different ways.
Yep.
Like you listen to Simple Man and you're like, oh man, I hear a guy singing about his mom telling him that you just need to be simple and understand life and this and that.
Don't worry.
But then I hear it. Yeah, I hear it. And I hear the complete opposite. I hear, oh man, this guy was overloved. And he's trying to express what he wanted his mom to tell him. But maybe she didn't.
Right.
You know, maybe he's trying to create the mom that he really wanted, but she died and he couldn't.
Right.
And it's art.
It is art. And that's some of the beauty of it is it can take a group of people and you'll have the full range of emotion in that room.
Yep.
Some will be overjoyed, some will be deeply saddened. Some might be angry or feel hurt.
It's like a presidential address.
Kind of. I mean,
God,
because
I hate
everybody interprets it a different way.
I hate them though.
And then we
the
fight
one
for
side,
yeah.
and the other side
It's
just,
like, oh, fuck you guys.
and then they all clap, and then they
yeah.
all sit. It's like, what the fuck?
No, nobody's genuine at those.
Oh, I hate it.
It's
Why?
so bad.
Why? How come? Why in 2017 are we still stuck in the situation where we gotta vote a guy into a job that nobody wants? Nobody educated wants to be a president.
What I don't understand is why do we still have a system
Why do we need one figure?
that you vote for one person simply because you don't want to vote for the other?
Why don't we just...
I
Oh, you're an expert in geology? Okay, you're the head of geology.
go learn us some shit about the earth.
Oh, you're great in foreign policy?
Yeah, learn us.
Well,
I said learn
we do
us.
it, but it still falls
As a byproduct
into this,
of where I've grown up.
into this party issue.
And you're exactly right.
It's like the education.
Why can't we find the people that are truly qualified to take an effective approach
Yep.
on these positions? They know our education system. They know geology. They understand what we need from a science aspect. They know what we need from a social policy aspect.
Yep.
And those are the people, instead of, well, this guy donated $2 million, so I guess I better get him something back.
That's what I hate. Like, I supported Trump over Hillary, but I hate that Trump gets to bring on some Republican that knows nothing about education to run the education system over somebody else that's probably 50-fold qualified.
Right.
Oh, our education leaders are fucking
And it's
dumb
it's
cunt.
yeah, no, it's frustrating.
I'm sorry.
Because
If you ever listen to this, you're not a dumb cunt, but you are a dumb cunt.
that's a contradictory statement.
So many people hate her.
No, I know.
I can't even think of her
I'm
name.
not a Betsy Davis.
Betsy. Oh,
DEVOS, I think is it. DeVos.
that is so fucked up.
Yeah. It's not Betty Davis.
They're gonna come. Yeah, they're gonna fuck me up with the lady that fucking.
It's not Betsy Ross either, who we've
the
had this
Confederate-
the
13
flag,
colony
yeah, with
flag.
the 13 start, yeah. No, we
got Betty Davis eyes.
and we've come full circle. Welcome back to the first episode of Experts of None. I'm glad you've stuck with us this long. We
I
are
hope-
at hour 9.
Please let our audio be good.
I sure hope so. So we are at the 3 hour and 5-minute mark.
You can wrap her up.
And I really want to encourage anybody that is out there listening to us have this conversation. We want you to be a part of it.
Yes.
We want you to throw your comments down below, subscribe, whatever it is, so you know that we can see your message, and let us know what your feelings are. As it is in the title, we are experts of none. And so we're just kind of throwing it out there. This is our feelings on it, and
That's the biggest thing, especially with society now, is we have discussion, but it's through this weird interface where you're not seeing face to face, and what I think both of us want from this podcast is, hey, we're right here on camera. You can critique us. You can ask us questions.
whatever it is.
Things you want us to talk about. Anything. I mean, we're here for the taking.
Throw it out there. The nice thing about it too is we're adults.
Yeah.
And we don't have to agree. I don't want us to always agree, because that's just boring. But we can work through those differences.
Yep.
We can work through those differences in opinion and talk about it.
Well, that's all it is opinion. Just because me and Joe say it doesn't mean it's fucking
No.
slate and stone.
That's our viewpoint, and it comes from things that we've read and have watched, and memories are skewed, and we're halfway through a bottle of Jack Daniels, and and things get a little off kilter. But it is still a conversation.
It is.
And we still want you to be a part of it.
That's a great, I think of me and you, similarities. We both kind of hate religion. Or we don't hate it.
I wouldn't say hate. Hate's a strong word. I don't.
It doesn't work for us.
It doesn't. It doesn't
But
work for us.
You know what? I'll even say this. My wife, her mom, hardcore drug addiction, 20, 30 years strong.
Mm-hmm.
Went through treatment the last year.
You can knock that off again.
God damn it. Went through treatment the last year or so, and basically the only way that she could retrieve herself from this addiction was finding a higher power, which is God.
Yep.
And I have no religion has a place in anybody that needs it.
Right. I've got family members, and the only way that they've, stayed clean from alcohol for the last 3 years was because religion worked for them, and I'm proud of them. I'm proud that was what it took. That's fine. I'm 100% for it. You go for it.
Yep.
I'm glad that you've been staying dry, that you're getting your shit together. That's what it took.
Yep.
It doesn't work for me.
Nope.
And when we can sit in the same room and we can talk about it and say, you believe and I don't believe, or you believe and I have different beliefs, that's fine.
Yep.
We win. We all win.
Shake hands at the end of the day. I mean,
Absolutely. And that's the same thing that we're trying to promote here. Different opinion. If you have a different opinion, we'll talk about it.
yep.
We don't have to agree. But we can talk about it, and we can debate it, and you can present your feelings on it, I can present my feelings on it.
Yep.
And you know what? We can go back and we can do our homework, and we can be like, well, you know what? Okay. I might not agree, but I can see how he could think this way.
Yeah. Yep.
Because it's not a matter of changing minds. It's not a matter of changing opinions.
It's just discussion.
It's just discussion.
And for me personally, especially when I was working on the road by myself a lot,
Yep.
just listening to podcasts, listening to Howard Stern, listening to Jason Ellis, and just people talking and discussing different things. Like, there was a point in my life where, like, I was a devoted Catholic,
Mm-hmm.
but I was young, but I didn't know any better.
Right.
And then I heard discussion and then started questioning my religion, questioning the priests, and then
Yep.
they had this weird response and is like, but wait, what? And I'm not trying to say abolish, like, it has a place for people. If you need it, it's great. Like, all three of my brothers, I come out of my family, I have 4 brothers, and no, I lied. Yes, I have 4 brothers.
He's a phony.
I'm not sure of one of the brothers' religious views, but the other 3, very religious.
Yeah.
But that doesn't hold, like, I respect it.
Right.
I don't believe in it, but I respect it because guess what? It helps their family. Their family fucking is involved in the church, and it's awesome.
Keeps them going.
Yeah.
It gets them in the community.
It is awesome.
And it is awesome.
Yep.
And
It's just different points of view.
that's what it is.
But we're at this point of civilization where, for some reason, if we disagree on this religion thing, we're at war. We're dropping nukes.
I have to shun you and not talk to you when I go to the grocery store and I see you because we don't believe the same.
Oh, that's the Jewish
or
dude.
yeah. Or
no, he's the
same
fucking.
it's
He's your ancestor.
It's just like this bombing in Manchester at the Ariana Grande concert.
Dude.
Is like and I mean we could talk and we might hit it up this next week. We could talk for hours on this whole thing. But religion shouldn't drive you to that.
No. That is one of my dreams. If we could get a absolutely hardcore, what do they call? I'm not, Muslim is fine, but a radical.
It would be like a radical Islam or a radical.
I would love that on here.
Yeah, and
just to discuss.
Right, just try to get some viewpoints on on really what is.
Let me understand.
Right.
Your point of view.
Right, because I'm not gonna have the same point of view.
And it's completely different. How long have these people been fighting in the Middle East? Pre-Jesus.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
this is a centuries
thousands
long
and thousands
battle
and
thing.
thousands of years, and they all believe in the same God. It's just different points of view, and
Right.
It'd be fascinating.
No, it would. And, if you would like to join us on the show, let us know. We would love to have
BYOM. Bring your own mic.
Yeah, right now we're only set up with 2 mics. We're underfunded. I would like to put a shameless plug for Pesky Technology LLC, which has graciously provided all of the microphone, audio, camera, computer equipment that we've been using to produce this.
I got headphones ordered.
Plus,
they should be here
plus
Wednesday.
Mr. Skylar Traxinger, who's providing the headphones
And alcohol. Mostly. Joe brought
he's a good
this
friend.
Wonderful Jack Daniels.
I did. And we do have a bottle of Captain Morgan sitting here just slightly off screen.
I drank that last night.
And he drank it last night waiting for me. I was unavailable. And this 2-liter bottle of Coca-Cola.
I literally can't believe we hit 3 hours.
Yeah, no.
Did that feel like 3 hours?
It did not feel like 3 hours. That was the fastest 3 hours I've had in a long time.
Man. I love this.
Other than sleeping, which, will make 4 hours feel like 37 seconds.
Right.
Some of us don't have tomorrow off. Lucky bastard. But no, we just want to put the call out there. Please subscribe, put a comment down below, hit us up on Twitter, Facebook.
Experts of
none. Just throw it out there.
Honestly,
we want to know what your thoughts are, what you think.
And as far as we know, we're the only experts of none out there.
I mean, I've looked. We're the only ones that come up.
Yep.
It's not trademarked, so I guess if you want to throw that in.
I wonder, what do we have to do to make this, like, downloadable, like MP3 wise? If somebody's just driving and they want to listen.
I could do that. I
think that's a big...
I will do that. I will get audio files available if you want to download our conversation and listen to it while you're driving. I know that's how I like to enjoy things.
Me too.
I get an hour a day, half hour each way, to just kind of listen to what's going on, and just kind of listen to the conversation, join in.
I think our audio was good this one.
I'm thinking so. We did a test one. We'll listen to this one back. It's good. Yeah, that'll be our luck.
Welcome to Experts of None.
You'll hear me loud as day. I mean, it'll be like I'm shouting in your face, and Skylar will be quiet.
Yeah, I'm down in the gutter.
Like, yeah, no, we're kind of covered halfway with like a paper bag and tinfoil. It's a bad deal. But I want to thank you.
To end it. We ran out of Coca-Cola.
We did,
which is not a sponsor.
No,
maybe at some point.
We would also take Captain Morgan.
Maybe we wouldn't run out of Coca-Cola if you'd fucking sponsor us. Yes, I'm talking to you, Bob Hansen and Mel Brewer.
And we also have a bottle of Aquafina here.
Aquafina, which is a Pepsi product, I believe.
Rehydration. I think you're right.
Yep.
I think it is a Pepsi product.
Yeah, my brother used to work for Pepsi. And did all.
So we have both Coke and Pepsi products. So if you guys want to battle it out.
Yep, PepsiCo Inc.
Be more than welcome. So,
we love Pepsi on Experts of None.
Yes.
And Coke. Cocaine. Coca-Cola. Why'd you say cocaine?
What?
Joe.
It's terrible. Okay. Thank you all for listening, and we will see you again next week. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.